going to be in a shit show.
You think so?
No, I mean, right now, like, I want to.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Behind the back! Are you serious? No hesitation on the shot. Ms. Rice feeling it. Make it 3 for 3.
Welcome to Cy Donnelly Field, where tonight it's the Catholic High School Football League AAA featuring the undefeated Gales of Iona Prep against the Friars of St. Anthony's, who check in at 4-1 in the league. Good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler here with Pat Godfrey, and the Friars are taking the field. A massive game here tonight, Pat. Major playoff implications on the line. Iona Prep wins this game. They pretty much lock up the top seed, which means that the championship goes through New Rochelle. If St. Anthony's is victorious, it is wide open. You've got 3 teams, all with 1 loss. You might have some crazy tiebreaker, but that's exactly what the Friars want here tonight.
Absolutely. If you're a St. Anthony's fan going into this year, you love where you're at tonight, playing quite possibly the best team in all of New York State and Iona Prep. On the flip side, Iona, everything is in front of you tonight. If you want to lock up that home field advantage throughout the playoffs, make people go through New Rochelle, that's certainly something that Coach Joe Spagnuolo wants to accomplish tonight. I'm real excited.
Again, Iona Prep coming in 6-1, 5-0. Their lone loss, week 0 to a little known team out in New Jersey called Don Bosco Prep. They've been perfect ever since. We'll take a quick break. They're going to have the prayer here and the anthem as well. And then we'll have some impact players, the starters, and the opening kickoff. It's the CHSFL AAA showdown between Iona Prep and St. Anthony's, and it's right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents and athletes, why leave your college career in the hands of amateurs? Varsity Media produces professional college recruiting videos that you can use to help land a spot on the team. Our highlight reels have proven to save thousands of dollars in college tuition. You've worked hard and put the effort into your high school athletic career. Don't take any chances when it comes to your future. Varsity Media has been producing college recruiting videos since 2010. We understand what college coaches are looking for, and our attention to detail on your highlights will separate your resume from others. Stand out from the crowd. We'll help showcase your talents. Contact Varsity Media today and order a college recruiting video. Parents and athletes, why leave your college career in the hands of amateurs? Varsity Media produces professional college recruiting videos that you can use to help land a spot on the team. Our highlight reels have proven to save thousands of dollars in college tuition. You've worked hard and put the effort into your high school athletic career. Don't take any chances when it comes to your future. Varsity Media has been producing college recruiting videos since 2010. We understand what college coaches are looking for, and our attention to detail on your highlights will separate your resume from others. Stand out from the crowd. We'll help showcase your talents. Contact Varsity Media today and order a college recruiting video.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field for this Catholic High School Football League AAA showdown between the Gales and the Friars of St. Anthony's. Let's take a look at our impact players for tonight, and there's so many to choose from for Iona Prep. We go with number 7, Justin Jolie. Delaware commit, a verbal. He's a guy that certainly Joe Spagnuolo, the head coach, calls a freak athlete. He runs like a running back. He's got gigantic hands. You see the numbers on the season as well. Joe Lee impacts the game in a big way.
Absolutely. Joe Lee, at 6'5", 220 pounds, he's a physical presence that you don't often see out on the perimeter at the high school level. Should be a matchup problem all night for that St. Anthony's backfield.
And for the Friars, defensively, they've leaned on their middle linebacker all year. There he is in the middle of your screen, number 40, Andrew Bardak. And what a year he's had as well. 37 tackles, 6 for losses, an INT, a forced fumble. He is St. Anthony's football through and through, the true definition of a high school football player. We've seen Bardak a few times here really have a huge impact on games, and at that middle linebacker position, he will be critical here tonight.
Absolutely. He's certainly a fun guy to watch. He'll be active. It seems like every time we come to watch him play, he winds up with double-digit tackle totals, and he's going to really need to put on a great performance tonight to stop this high-powered Iona Prep offense behind Johnny Shepard.
The Gales are coached by Joe Spagnuolo in his 6th season at the helm for Iona Prep, a 1998 Iona Prep graduate. He won a Catholic League AA championship. QB at his time in Iona, played at Siena, played at Bryant. Prior to his stint here at Iona Prep, was an assistant head coach and offensive coordinator at Archbishop Stepinac, the big rival for the Gales. But Spags, there he is. You see him in the shorts. He has really led the resurgence here and lifted Iona Prep to being one of the best teams right now, number 1 in the state.
Absolutely. I think you can really look at this Iona Prep program and see the Archbishop Stepinac influence from Coach Spagnuolo's prior days as a coordinator, and he's really done a great job in building a powerhouse up in New Rochelle, looking to continue that dominance that they've experienced thus far in 2021 in a very harsh atmosphere to come on a Friday night, being Cy Donnelly Field here in South Huntington. And
inside that huddle there for the Friars of St. Anthony's is their head coach, Joe Minucci, another alum of the program, graduated just a year after Joe Spagnuolo. So they know each other pretty well. Minucci was chasing around Spags when Spags was the Iona Prep QB, but certainly, again, Minucci, following the legacy of Rich Reichert, has done a phenomenal job both as the athletic director and the head coach, and a big reason why these Friars are one of the top teams in the Catholic League this year.
Absolutely. Thus far, it's been a reemergence of St. Anthony's prominence within this league. Had a lot of success thus far. We saw a big win versus Cardinal Hayes early on, and they're really going to look to put out a statement to the rest of the Catholic League here tonight against the presumptive number 1 team in New York State.
Yeah, and you could argue that it's a bigger game for St. Anthony's because kind of when you look, and we'll take a look later on at the standings, you kind of say, you know what, that loss to Stepinac, a game we had on the Varsity Media Sports Network, that might have impacted it where they could be the 3 seed. We'll see. A lot of football to be played. The return comes from the 1. There's the tackle, and coming out of the St. Anthony's sideline is their QB, Dante Torres. What a year Torres has had, a dual threat impact. 6'3", 195 junior is Dante Torres. And the numbers really good, right, on the year. There you see his passing numbers. He's also carried the ball 36 times for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns as well. The true dual threat for the Friars.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job as only a junior, being an incredibly efficient pocket passer. He really certainly has some great capabilities in using his legs and utilizing that aspect of the game, but has really matured here in his 2nd year as a starter at St. Anthony's as a pure passer.
From the 22, first play is a handoff, a great run on first down, and pushing it outside.
And I love Carson Chanchuli, their left tackle, number 77 right there, getting out in front of the play, continuing to block through the whistle. That's a great pickup on first down for St. Anthony's.
So big run by Ruda. Part of the 3 running back committee, really, for the Friars. Escobar, Ruda, and Darius Morant. All of them ran for a touchdown last week against Moore Catholic. Off that first down run, here comes Ruda again, cuts inside, bursted out inside the 40-yard line, and he's taken down inside the 35. What a run by Frank Ruda.
And back-to-back plays to start the game. I want to watch your left tackle, Carson Chanchuli. Huge block at the top of your screen there, bouncing it open for his running back. That's a huge gain to start off for St. Anthony's. They're really loving how they got out the gate.
Chanchuli, the junior, probably the best offensive lineman. They'll go back to the run game, and then it was stuffed pretty quickly there. We'll show you the starters offensively for St. Anthony's as we're moving pretty quickly in this one. We showed you Torres before. You mentioned a few of the guys up front as well. Your running back, Escobar, Miles, Matos, Duff, and Solero are your receivers. Chanchuli, Chavez, Gregor, Olivia, and Voltaggio at right tackle. Will Chavez, a new starter there at left guard. Nothing doing on that second down run. And here's a look at the Iona Prep defense, which certainly a little bit more stout right now in this push up field, especially since the ball went onto their side. It's up front. You've got Foster, Martin, and Turner. Linebackers, McIntyre, Moultrie, Goddard. Take a look out for him. Mackey and Reeves, your corners. Ellis Robinson, the fourth. Teron Johnson, Connolly, and Walden are your safeties. 3rd and 13 for the Friars. Back to pass is Torres, and a whistle is blown. So the Friars, Pat, looking to move the ball quickly, and perhaps a little bit too quickly there as there's a false start on the offense. It'll push them back, which, again, that's tough, right, when it's on 3rd down. Now it was 3rd and 13, now 3rd and 18, and you're challenging a really, really good and young secondary for the Gales.
Absolutely. As capable as a young quarterback in Dante Torres is for the Friars, you certainly never want to put your junior quarterback in a position looking for a 3rd and 18 against a defensive secondary as stout as Iona Prep.
Good protection. Torres looks, slings it far side, trying to find Duff, and that is caught.
And this should be a 4-down territory for Coach Joe Minucci. You're looking at 4th and 5, a little bit outside the kicking radius of your kicker, looking at about a 49-yard field goal. So I'd expect to see the Friars offense stay out here.
See it again. KJ Duff using all 6'5" of his frame. His 22nd reception of the year. A sophomore on that side. And, Iona nearly jumped. It's 4th and 7. For St. Anthony's. We'll talk when we get a chance in a little bit about the game within a game, and it's a good one. Here come the Gales with the pressure. Dumped off low. Look at this run. First down and more. Touchdown, St. Anthony's. Darius Morant, a 36-yard catch and run.
And seeing multiple facets of this fantastic St. Anthony's running back room come into play on that drive. Ruda, a couple of big snaps to get them a big chunk of yardage right out of the gate, and then fantastic job by Morant on the swing pass around the left, seeing daylight, making a man miss, and getting in to start off on the right foot for St. Anthony's.
We've heard so much, and we'll talk certainly over the next couple of hours about how good Iona Prep is, and they are very, very good. If you are St. Anthony's, I mean, that's just about a full start here on the point after attempt, about a perfect way to start the game, right? One, you move the football right away on the ground as well. You go for it and make it and get in the end zone on 4th down. That's a great opening statement by the Friars.
Absolutely, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to start to see a little bit of the character of what makes this Iona team. They're a team that really hasn't been challenged all too much since their visit to North Jersey at Don Bosco to start the season. So this is unfamiliar territory for the Gales right now, and I know that a Johnny Shepard and Jolie and company are looking to get the Gales right back on track.
So the Goldstein PAT is up and good. He's a perfect 12 of 12 on the year, and 7-0 for St. Anthony's. Here is their touchdown again.
And once Morant hits that edge, it's gone.
Yeah, listen, Iona's a team known for their speed, but so too is St. Anthony's. So we'll take a quick break. 7-0 is your score. 9:40 left first quarter in this Catholic AAA showdown.
Now is the time to showcase your skills for the next level. College recruiting videos help your athlete land a spot on the team and can save money on college tuition. Consider a professional video produced by Varsity Media. Our quality film and state-of-the-art editing will help your athlete stand out from the competition. We offer affordable rates and a quick turnaround. Contact Varsity Media today and book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to South Huntington. The kick is received at about the 8-yard line. A spin, cut, nothing doing. Good tackle there by Dylan Mehta, number 21 for St. Anthony's. And now, Pat, the offense comes on the field for Iona Prep, which is led by a guy. He's the QB, but he's a QB in a linebacker's body, is Johnny Shepard. 6'2", 230, just a beast for the Gales. And so many similarities offensively between these two teams, especially, too, at the quarterback position.
Absolutely. Both teams led by dynamic junior quarterback talents. Johnny Shepard, you'll see, he doesn't look like your average quarterback. He actually has an older brother who is a starting defensive lineman at Ole Miss, Kadir, for about 3 years, who currently plays in the Canadian Football League. So you'll see the physicality in the way that he plays here tonight.
An incomplete pass on first down. This will give us a chance to show you the starters for Iona Prep. And again, we just mentioned Shepard, and here they are. You've got Turner at running back, the receivers of Ryan, Jolie, Senator, and O'Boyle up front. First time they've had their entire regular starters up front. It's Federico, Becker, Schultz, Langendorf, Prisgoda, and Ruiz. Watch out for number 74, Scott Becker. The head coach of Iona Prep, Joe Spagnuolo, says he believes he's the best offensive lineman in the state of New York.
Absolutely. Coach Spagnuolo very confident in that left side of his offensive line in Federico and Becker to get the job done consistently here tonight.
Shepard rolls out. That pass is complete to Ryan on the outside, and he'll get out of bounds. We'll show you the starters for the Friars on defense, and a lot of work to do for these Friars defensively, and some changes here as well. You've got Testa, McCabe, and Cooper, and Borgart. That's a change there with Fitzgerald out for the year. You've got Moss, Bardak, McGuire, and your linebackers Strong and Green are your corners, Brown and Leo at safeties. Off that first down play, Shepard with the carry, but he is hit hard and taken back by Testa.
And if St. Anthony is going to be successful tonight against this Gales offense, they're going to really need to consistently dial up some pressure from that battered-up defensive front. Really hurts them losing Fitzgerald to the year on an ACL injury, but that's certainly the start that they wanted out of their senior, Antonio Testa, at defensive end.
Yeah, he's the other end. He's the regular starter there as well. Handoff and a short gain for Iona Prep. It was Colin O'Garrow, and he's a guy, too, for the Friars. He was their starting running back, got banged up week 2 against Bishop Hendrickson, but he's that dual threat. He was a game-time decision, but we could see O'Garrow. He was kind of limping during practice this week. Good to see him back. 3rd and 6. Shepard. Handoff, and the Friars get a stop.
I love that call right there. Aggressive move for your Friars defense. Andrew Bardak coming in on the blitz. Starts at about 5 yards of depth and times it up perfectly. That's a thing of beauty as Andrew Bardak flies in and delivers the wood like only a future Army cadet could.
Low snap. The punt is up. It's a good one as well. It's fielded at the 20-yard line. And a good return from there as well. I think that's Michael Leo running down the far side. There is a flag, though, and an additional flag now on the field as well. So we'll see about these 2 flags that were thrown. Certainly the first, Pat, against St. Anthony's. We'll see about the second one as well.
When you're a receiving team, it's never good news when you see yellow down on the field, but I think that Iona might have bailed him out with that second flag coming in late on the sideline.
Michael Leo's so good in the return game. As you see, 2 fouls. There's a block in the back on the offense. Then a personal foul against the defense.
2 fouls on the play.
So the Friars will start their second drive at their own 40-yard line. And again, there's a lot of football, Pat, to be played. But if you are the Friars, what would it mean here? Just if you can somehow punch it in again, right? Take a two touchdown lead on a team, as you said, really hasn't been tested since their week 1 loss, or their week 0 loss, if you will, that non-conference game out at Don Bosco.
And let's not downplay the challenges of this environment that Iona has to come down from New Rochelle to play in. On a Friday afternoon, could have very well been a 3-hour bus ride here out to South Huntington. And St. Anthony is one of the fiercest crowds you're going to see in high school football in this part of the country. So they certainly don't want to get down early in a very, very hostile environment.
Yeah, Joe Spagnola had a great quote about that. We'll tell you about that after this play. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line for St. Anthony's. Torres goes over the middle. That's complete. Solero pulled down inside the 5-yard line.
Torres' pass is complete to Longo.
Excuse me, Longo with the reception.
And that's good for St. Anthony's first down.
Yeah, Longo wearing 12 here this week. Shed the 84.
And that's impressive protection by that St. Anthony's offensive line, giving their quarterback ample time, and Dante Torres is going to use it.
1st and goal from the 5, inside handoff, pushing forward. Look at this offensive line, get the push. Touchdown, Friars.
Right up the middle behind their big senior center, Christian Greger. Frank Ruda really showing a lot of heart there as he puts his shoulder down. And really, that's an emotional play right there that shows you where this game has started off here. St. Anthony's with a fire under their belly, always looking to fall forward, and that is music to Coach Joe Minucci's ears. Another 7 on the board.
What's that, the bagpipes, the music? And the PAT is up and good. So that's exactly what we talked about, right? What would it mean to these Friars? They take a 14-0 lead on Iona, and while we have an opportunity, we were saying, right, about how difficult it is to come out to South Huntington, right, on a Friday night especially. Spagnola said, look, there's so much talk in the NFL, right, about that plus-minus for the visiting team. He says, honestly, when you come out to St. Anthony's, you're a -10 before you even get off the bus. That's how difficult this is. He thinks in his career, and there you see some of the fans here. It's a whiteout, it looks like, here among the student body. He says that in all of his career, right, and that's as that assistant at Stepinac, as the head coach at Iona, he's had 1 win here on a Friday night, and that's how tough it is. And he said the last time they came out here was 2018. It was Rich Reichert, of course, the legendary St. Anthony's head coach. His last regular season game, the Friars won that game as well. But he says he has to go back to 2014 when he had those 3 NFL guys on the Stepinac team, right, when they defeated St. Anthony's, which featured Jordan Gowans, and that was the only time that he said he remembers winning here in South Huntington when he was an assistant coach at Archbishop Stepinac.
An interesting wrinkle to that point is, due to the constant turnover, due to COVID, a lot of these kids have never played against a St. Anthony's program at full strength when you're referring to the Iona Gales. So this is new territory for them, and Ellis Robinson, the number 4 player in the country.
Robinson checks his rear view mirrors and gets in. That is a response and a half. Look, we know how Ellis Robinson can impact the game at the corner position, where he's the number 2 ranked player in the country in his class. He's in a class by his own, though, with his athleticism. There you see it. Take it to the house. Really not even touched. And what a kickoff return for Ellis Robinson, the 4th.
Yeah, flash of that dynamic athleticism that has a lot of coaches throughout the country very excited as he's able to cut it, and he's gone.
Yeah, it looked like it was from the 10-yard line, and there you see, checking the rear views, we're good. We can glide into the end zone. Ellis Robinson, the 4th.
Ellis quite possibly is the highest recruit all time in New York State. He's currently in the class of 2024 on 247sports.com, the number 4 player in the country and number 1 defensive back. For this part of the country, that's very, very rare area. You might have to think back to a guy by the name of Jason Galtney for the last time there was such a big-time player in this area. Really, really impressive, and you just get a glimpse of why so many schools, you see Ohio State, Miami, I hate to see it, but South Carolina on his board.
Said the Clemson alum. But listen, too, Rutgers, right? They were at practice this week. Greg Schiano in to see Iona and certainly to take a closer look at that young man, Ellis Robinson IV.
Yeah, they said that was the first time there'd ever been a helicopter at the field at Iona as the Rutgers staff elected to arrive in style to woo some of these top athletes out here for the Gales.
So they never had a copter before, huh?
Never had a copter before. I'd love to talk to Coach Reichert, Coach Minucci, and find out what the helicopter history is here at St. Anthony's. And I'm getting a nod from a member of the staff that, yes, there has been.
Ellis Robinson IV. An 89-yard return.
And that's the kind of response you're looking for right there. You know, a lot of people want to focus on offense, focus on defense, but that special teams element is truly 1/3 of the game. And Iona showing you right there how big a portion of the game that can be, getting right back into this.
The return from the 10-yard line. And a good one. It's forced out of bounds. It was Kenyon Miles with the return. So, Pat, going back to when P. Diddy's son was the quarterback, there was no helicopters then for the bad boy himself, the CEO?
I guess not. I guess he was fighting against the New York City traffic like the rest of us.
So 14-7 is your score, and St. Anthony's back on the attack. And, you know, one of the fun sort of games within a game, and we'll keep an eye on it throughout this game, are the two dueling sophomores, right? Highly ranked sophomores. Robinson, who we mentioned at corner, as well as
Teron Johnson.
Miles. Well, I was going to say KJ Miles the other way. Here comes Torres, goes long. Oh, and just in and out of the hands. The intended target was Alex Solero. So from time to time, Pat will try to show you if we got an ISO of Miles, of Duff against Robinson, a matchup that I know, on social media, people are buzzing about that possibility here today. We'll try to show you those ISOs as this game goes along. There you see a good look at KJ Duff, 6'5". He's got the size advantage certainly on Robinson, but Robinson not giving up too much in the rest of the department.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be the first time that Ellis Robinson has been tested with a 6'5" receiver of KJ Duff's caliber, but he's certainly proven himself on the camp circuit throughout the year, so this won't be anything new for him. I think more so an opportunity for KJ Duff against the cream of the crop in the country to really prove his worth and show him what I already know to be true, which is, hey, this is a Power 5 receiver in a couple years.
Short pass down low. That was to Alex Solero. And that's going to be one of the keys, I think, here as well, right? If you don't have that long option, you've got multiple receivers, right? And your running back can catch it also out of the backfield. Get some of those short passes. 3rd and short over the middle. A completed pass. And what a start of this game Solero has had, right?
Absolutely. You're really loving the bevy of different weapons that St. Anthony's can bring to the table. And, that's a challenge that I don't know if we looked into for Iona Prep is they've got a few fantastic defensive backs back there in Johnson, in Robinson. It's can they compete with the bevy of different guys, the 4, 5, 6 options that Joe Minucci is able to throw out there week in and week out.
1st and 10 from the 40. Back on the ground, it's Ruda, and there's a flag from behind the play, so this will be on the offense. But again, that's where we think there's terrific similarities, right? It's almost a mirror image of the two teams in terms of their attack, right? Where Iona throws 4 different receivers at you, and they've got multiple running backs. really, the funny thing, though, about Iona's multiple running backs is it's really not supposed to be by design. They've had so many injuries at that position that they kind of got to the point last game where they're up to their 5th running back. So a loss of 10 on that holding penalty, so they'll be back at midfield, 1st and 20 for the Friars. Back handing off and just kind of slipping there right at the 50 was Morant.
Slipped down and touched down by Reeves.
So no gain on 1st down. And Darius Morant again, of their running back core, who have been impressive so far, maybe the speediest and shiftiest of those group. He's got big play potential whenever the ball is in his hands. He's right now staying on as the back, 2nd and 20. Again, quick dump down pass. There's Robinson smelling that route, throwing miles backwards.
Robinson with the stop.
Though it's a short gain right there, I think that builds a lot of confidence for Kenyon Miles, able to put his foot in the ground, get back to the ball, and even though, not a big play, hey, you got a catch on one of the best players in the entire country. Let's build on that.
Ellis Robinson, the 4th, his 15th tackle of the year. He's, by the way, got 7 interceptions on the year. Ridiculous numbers. Best in the state in that category. 3rd and 16. Torres back to pass. Has got options. Goes far sideline. A diving catch, but
Torres' pass is complete.
it is complete out at the far side. And again, the bevy of options. That's Jaden Jenkins, number 80, to make that catch. You can see the arguments there by the Gales on the far sideline. Spags not liking it, thought he was perhaps pushed out.
Winds up becoming somewhat of an immaterial play, but for future reference, if you're Dante Torres, you really do have to know when you're playing against this Iona Gales defense, long throws across the field are not your best friend. The longer that ball hangs in the air, the more time there is for these dynamic players to make a cut. I really would say try to keep things efficient, try and keep them in front of you. Those long throws to the sideline might wind up coming back to bite you if you're Dante Torres.
And now if you're St. Anthony's, what you're hoping to do here on this punt attempt is punt it away from number 2, who's your lone man back, Ellis Robinson. We already saw what he's done on a kickoff return, 89 yards to the house. Let's see how angled this is, and they actually go right at a really good punt there for the Friars. Takes a bounce as well. That was perfect, really, because one, you did kind of put it towards Robinson, but you dumped it in front of him, kind of making him like wonder, should I make the decision to pick it up or not? He didn't, and then the roll went the Friars' way as well. So giving Iona now long field position.
Certainly a dangerous game to play, as we've seen thus far in the first quarter. But there it works out really well. And St. Anthony's, with the exception of that special teams blunder on the kickoff coverage unit, they've really done a good job in terms of the field position battle tonight.
It's been a while since we've seen Shepard and the Iona Prep offense out on the field. In an uncomfortable position here from just about his own end zone. Shepard takes it himself, cuts up the middle, and that's where you see that athleticism and how big and strong he is at 6'2", 230. He's a tough dude to take down when he gets into open fields.
And running right off the tail of big number 74, who gets a key block, you'll see right there. Scott Becker, the Princeton commit, and quite possibly one of the best offensive linemen in all of New York State this year.
Yeah, Becker had 30 different offers. Really everyone in the Ivy, the Patriot League, the academies, all were in on Becker, chose Princeton. Into the flats, there's Ryan cutting to the outside. He's got some room to move. And it was Joe Lee, excuse me. I saw the number, a short 7 there across, but Joe Lee, big-time receiver for Iona Prep.
And Justin Jolie, just a glimpse of why Delaware is very, very excited to have him joining their CAA program next year. He's certainly a dynamic athlete, and the ability to move in space like that on a 6'5", 220 frame is very, very rare at any level.
So 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for Shepard and the Gales. Rolls out to the right. It's got a man in and out, though, of the hands. The intended target was Senator.
And he's lucky that number 2, Kassan Green, didn't step in front and take that one all the way back to the house. Green with a really great first step on it, just unable to reel it in on the sideline.
So 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. Yeah, we've had our impact players already impact the game in a big way. Joe Lee with that terrific reception, a 3-year starter for the Gales. As you mentioned, going to Delaware, kind of, again, when we spoke to Spagnola, thought that was a bit of a steal, right, where he's a guy who has that potential to be a higher level commit.
In terms of measurables, he's as good as you'll find.
The handoff goes to O'Garo, and Bardak again with the tackle.
And one thing that Andrew Bardak does a really good job of is diagnosing the play early. He likes to play downfield. He's a downfield linebacker and does a really great job meeting the back in the hole, keeping that to a no-yard gain.
3rd and 10, no gain on that play. A lot of discussions between the two teams. You see Bardak kind of motioning back, watching, calling the plays defensively, pointing out the front. To Joe Lee, cuts it inside, tries to continue to get outside, but look at a gang tackling by the Friars. That's how you take care of a big-time wide receiving threat like Joe Lee.
Exactly. With a guy who's that shifty with the ball in his hands, you can't ever rely on one player to make the tackle. As a defense coordinator, all you're saying all week long is 11 hats on the ball, and they did a great job there for a 3rd down stop.
So that was for no gain as well. And they will go for it. It's Turner as the back next to Shepard. 4th and 10 as we approach the final minute of the first quarter. Shepard, look out! Under pressure, ducks out of it, cuts it out to the left. Chased by Bardak, dives for the first down marker. Did he get it?
He looked just short to me, Dylan. We'll see where the refs spot him.
And he was stopped. So first, Pat, the pressure comes, and then Bardak finishes him off.
Really impressive play nonetheless by Johnny Shepard. You see why he's such a heralded athlete, not easy to bring down, and almost makes something out of nothing there on 4th and 10. Just a yard short, but one thing to mention is they're only turning the ball back to the St. Anthony's offense at the 26-yard line. That was an effective drive, as good as a punt.
Jojo DiCiero forced Shepard out shy of that first down marker. So St. Anthony's offense back. 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. They have been explosive thus far in the first quarter. Showing that dual threat option. Many running backs featuring, and this one was cut to the outside. A really good first down run by Escobar.
And a major shout out to Kenyon Miles here. He's stalk blocking on the edge, and he's a quintessential piece of bouncing this for 10 instead of 3 or 4. A lot of wide receivers like to focus on their stat line, on their targets, but that's an untold portion of the game that really makes a big difference in wins and losses.
They move the chains. They're out to the 38-yard line now, under a minute left, first quarter. Back to the ground. Escobar, and he's pushed backwards. Looks like he'll gain 2 yards on that, but some.
And a big hit there by their middle linebacker, Zion Moultrie Goddard. He's only a junior, but already has offers from the likes of Tennessee, West Virginia, Rutgers. He's a very, very talented player, one of the best front 7 players in all of New York State.
You tout him, but Spagnola thinks he might be the most underrated player in the league. Numbers ridiculous, 61 tackles, 18 for losses. And when Moultrie Goddard hits you, you stay hit.
Absolutely. We talk a lot about Ellis Robinson IV, who's a top player in the country, #1 player in New York State. Zion, the grade above him, class of 2023, #1 player in New York State. So obviously a lot of top-end talent on this Gales defense.
So Longo, another first down reception. Kind of threw us for a loop there early on, right? Because he was 84. Now he's 12. Whatever the number, he's impacting the game in a big way. Hey, don't go anywhere. We've got a big announcement coming up at the start of the second quarter. after one. It's 14-7 Friars in this Catholic Football League AAA Showdown, live right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
It's time to get hyped with Varsity Media. We offer an array of video services sure to amp up your team. From staged preseason hype videos with custom lighting and smoke machines to sideline highlights of a big game. How can your team stand out from the crowd? Contact Varsity Media today and let us tailor something your squad will never forget. These are the best times of your life. Capture them in the most creative ways possible with the sports leader, Varsity Media.
Welcome back to Side Donnelly Field. Here's our announcement. The Catholic Football League Championship games live on the Varsity Media Sports Network, November 20th from Mitchell Athletic Complex. The AA2, the AA1, the AAA, we've got it all for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We're so jacked up to be covering the Catholic League Championship games.
Dylan, that's going to be like Christmas coming early. I think about 10 hours of football at Mitchell Field. That's all I could ever ask for.
Let's see if one of these two teams will find their way there. And a completed pass to now they'll say an incomplete pass at the 40-yard line to Jenkins. So we'll back things up. But yeah, Pat, we're so excited. We've seen so many of these teams. We were out at Holy Trinity last week. So many speedsters and difference makers for that team, and to be able to give you all the sights and sounds of a triple header that you don't want to miss. We're really excited for that. 2nd and 10. Look out. Torres under pressure. Dumps it low, and he finds Miles.
Tackled by Terrence Walden. Safety out there on the edge, the junior, getting active.
Yeah, of that secondary, Walden has the most tackles at 36 on the season. He's a guy who was around in the spring. They had a veteran, Iona did, a veteran secondary and offensive front. Those guys were gone, so a lot of these guys now are in increased positions. 3rd and 10 from the 46-yard line. Motioning was Longo. And another completed pass. A short one, though, to Longo, and the dueling 12, Terrence Walden, with the tackle.
When I look at this Iona Prep defensive backfield, I really think it could be the strong point of the team. Between Robinson, Connolly, Walden, and Johnson, you might have some younger guys out there, not a single senior in the starting lineup, but all guys who have top-end potential of really doing things that have never been done before at this Iona Prep program. So I know Coach Spagnuolo is very, very excited for the future and the present behind these dynamic guys.
Friars 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions. That was for a score. Here they go again. Torres looking and finding Duff. He was in bounds, and he will move the chains.
And you'll see right there, he actually beats out the offensive star for the Gales, Justin Jolie, who's playing a little bit both ways tonight, and a really, really fantastic toe tap on the sideline to get just enough for KJ Duff.
Yeah, that position is exactly where we expect to see Jolie on those 3rd and long and 4th and long situations. So 1st and 10 from the 40, 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions now for the Friars. A little miscommunication there, looks like. Torres ducks out of trouble, still finds a way to get something out of nothing, and he slides his way out to the 31-yard line.
Winds up being brought down by Darryl Reeves, but just an impressive play by Dante Torres. A few times thought that he was going to be down in the backfield for a big sack, potentially a drive killer. And even though it's only a few yards he's able to pick up, that's a big, big difference between looking at a 2nd and 18 and a 2nd and 6.
You've got Escobar, you see there, behind Torres. He gets the handoff. Look at the hole as well. Lowering the shoulder and getting pulled down at the 20. A fantastic run, but Pat, you're an offensive line guy. The hole was there as soon as Escobar got that football.
Fantastic job. Just running a zone left up here for your St. Anthony's offensive line. Able to seal off the edge. Great job by the right tackle, Mike Voltaggio, to bounce that off the right edge for the St. Anthony's offense.
And another tackle there by Walden, and it's an Iona Prep timeout. So St. Anthony's, Pat, you love what you see from them offensively.
I've been impressed thoroughly so far with St. Anthony's. Coming out here today, you wonder, have they closed the gap in such a short period of time? Just as recent as this past spring, St. Anthony's was a middling team in this division, really trying to fight back up to prominence. And here they are sitting in the second quarter, up by a touchdown, driving on the #1 team in New York State. This is going to be big for their confidence if they're able to punch it in here.
And here you see their road here, right, where we mentioned that 21-7 loss to Bosco. Then they rebound and beat a pretty good Bishop Hendrickson team out of Rhode Island. And then really it's been pretty smooth sailing for Iona, and obviously that one blip for St. Anthony's, other than that road loss to a very good Del Barton team, that home loss to Stepanak here, 40-36, a game that we had for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Which was certainly a game that St. Anthony's had ample opportunities to win. I'm sure they'll be back in the Catholic High School League playoffs with a vengeance for that one, but looking to stay out in front against a team that won 34-7 against that very same Stepanak team just a couple weeks ago.
1st and 10 from the 20. Look at this. Look to the outside. Complete and a touchdown. Timmy Longo, 20 yards.
And that might just be maybe a case of too many weapons you're trying to guard against as the Iona Gales defense. A lot of different guys out there on the edge. Do you worry about Escobar? Do you worry about Miles? Do you worry about Duff? Well, Longo's going to come off the edge. Number 12 deceived us tonight, normally number 84, and with the big catch on the wheel route to give St. Anthony's a commanding lead here in the second quarter.
And wide open, right, was Longo. And listen, again, you've got so many options, right, so many threats offensively. You kind of just go with your hot hand. And speaking of hot hands, look at these numbers right now for Dante Torres. 8 for 9, 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is about as good. That's like Phil Simms Super Bowl numbers right there.
Seriously, going into tonight, I spoke a little bit to Dante Torres' incredible efficiency as just a junior passer at the high school level. He's throwing about over 60% completion so far in the year, but today he's been nearly spotless. A couple of really long, tough throws in that 8 for 9, and he's a big reason why the Friars are up 20-7 at this junction of the game.
And maybe he's putting those numbers up like Simms because he's also trained by him as well. And Phil and his son Matt Simms as well, and one of the many quarterbacks, right, who have been part of the Simms family, trying to coach up some of the better quarterbacks in this tri-state area.
For those who don't know, Phil Simms is incredibly philanthropic with his time. One of his favorite things to do is give back and coach in the local community with his son, Matt, who is also a former NFL quarterback. So, yeah, Torres has spent some time with him. A lot of the top talent that comes through New York on a year-in, year-out basis is groomed by that Simms family, and I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing such great quarterback play in the Catholic League this year.
Henry Beelan, right, another one. We saw him at Cardinal. Hayes, also part of that stable of impressive quarterbacks. And what a start here for the Friars. I mean, 20-7 lead, but again, you can't get yourself too excited, right, if you are St. Anthony's, because you know the big threat, big playability that the Gales have with numerous people, not just Robinson, not just Jolie. Short return, and the Iona Prep offense will go back onto the field. And
nice little return there by Ryan O'Boyle. I figured the O'Boyle family might want a little shout out for that, and as a guy who for a period of time only started on kickoff return at Clemson, I can understand the importance of that critical play.
O'Boyle is a funny guy because he'll go days without catching a ball in practice, and then of his 4 receptions, they've all been huge for Iona, and when they're on offense as they are now, he's kind of a Johnny Shepard's safety blanket where he knows, he trusts him, he'll go out to him. Little shovel pass really inside, and That's a no gain.
And that was Matt Moss, Andrew Bardak, and a whole committee there for the Friars defense. I think that's one of the reasons why St. Anthony's is getting off to such a good start, is they've been really diligent about flying to the ball on that defensive unit, making sure that these weapons for Iona don't get the chance to run in space, and thus far done a really good job on containment.
You mentioned Fitzgerald's big loss up front for St. Anthony's, but so too is Jaden Platt. Also out for the year, a junior corner. He was a regular starter as well. And look at this pass to Joe Lee. Cuts it outside. And Joe Lee will get a first down.
And that's a Syracuse lacrosse commit, Michael Leo, on the tackle. Sure seems like every single time Justin Jolie touches the ball, you really have to hold your breath if you're a St. Anthony's fan. Seemingly changes directions on a dime. Really impressed thus far by the big, talented wideout for Iona.
I think arguments could be made for perhaps a block in the back there, but not made. 1st and 10 from midfield. Shepard gets a nice block upfield, cuts it to the outside, and he's out of bounds.
I'd like to see this Iona offense use that element a little bit more as this game progresses. We've only gotten brief glimpse of a Johnny Shepard and what he can do with his legs, but that could be a real catalyst to get other things working, to keep this St. Anthony's defense honest, potentially have to spy Bardak on their talented quarterback.
And Joe Lee at 6'5", 220 was the lead blocker on that play. 2nd and 2 from the 40-yard line. Low snap. Oh, and the ball is loose. Looks like Shepard has fallen on it.
And
he tried to hand off to Ogaro, and then see the St. Anthony's defense just blowing that play up. Here it is again.
Andrew Bardak with an uncanny ability to time the blitz perfectly. You wonder, how does he get in there that quickly, starting 5 yards in the backfield? Well, I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's called instincts, and Andrew Bardak has them.
5'10", 203. Bardak with 37 tackles coming into this game. And I can tell you, we've seen a lot of them. They've all been big tackles. 3rd and 9 off that loss. They'll motion Senator out to the right. Another botch. Here comes Joe Lee. Breaks the first tackle, but will not get past Bardak and his boys.
Dylan Meta also in there on that tackle. And geez, even though on the busted snap, Iona looks like a fully broken play, and Joe Lee makes what he can of it. Not enough for the first down there on 3rd and 13.
A couple of snaps there that were off, and Schultz Langendorf, their center, the junior, a transfer from White Plains, he's just kind of learning his way at center. That was Becker. The original plan was to have Becker there at center, but then some injuries kind of changed things. They kind of liked the look that Schultz Langendorf was giving you, and then Becker as well at the left guard. So a couple botched snaps there leads to a punt here for the Gales. And this one will not be returned. And the Friars will start off at about their own 20-yard line with a chance to extend their lead.
This is a really big drive here for the Iona defense to settle in a little bit. You're in a hostile environment. It's Friday night, so things didn't start out the way you wanted them to. You really have to lean on your leadership within the team, and also your understanding that, hey, we're talented. We've been down before. We can come back.
So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Friars. And really, it feels like every play offensively they've called, it's been working for St. Anthony's in this first half.
Starts up front. They've been very effective on the offensive line.
Handoff, cutting to the outside. A flag is thrown. Looks like that was Ruda on the run, but that will come back. And there was at least one change on that offensive line. Ifaz Rahman, a normal starter, a regular starter, he's out injured, as it is an offensive holding penalty. So Will Chavez has checked in at left guard, a 6'1", 244 senior. But that's the only change of that offensive line. And, of course, then you line up next to Chanchuli, who's, again, when we speak to Joe Minucci, says probably our best offensive lineman.
Absolutely. You know, between Chanchuli and Gregor, Chavez is certainly in good hands, but really admirable the way that he's come out and performed. You know, the offensive line has performed seamlessly here tonight, and I know for a senior who's getting his first start under the big lights against the #1 team in the New York State, he's certainly happy with the way it's started off here throughout the first quarter and a half.
So a little bit of a missed spot after that penalty, so they'll push the ball up a few yards, so you're not, if you're Torres, from your own end zone, but still a dangerous position for the junior QB. Torres into his own end zone now, looks over the middle, finds another option, and Miles, but just in and out of his hands. Your boy Teron Johnson, the freshman, was in on coverage.
Teron's one of the more impressive young guys on this Iona defense. He's only a 9th grader, and actually the only 9th grader that starts here at Iona Prep. But Teron's a guy who I've put in a lot of work with through my organization About You training in New York City. And I can tell you, we've seen a lot of really great defensive backs come through Harlem where we coach, and Teron is the next in line. I think he's got a really, really bright future.
They'll go back his way again. It is Longo. Breaks a tackle, cuts inside, spins, continues to have the football up the sideline before he's pushed out. The extra effort by Timmy Longo will move the chains for the Friars.
And somehow this St. Anthony's offense, despite continual gut punches, 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations, they just find a way to keep on moving the chains. 2nd and 24, and an incredible show of effort by Timmy Longo down there by the sideline to pick up the first down, move the chains.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line for the Friars. Torres again to the air. This one in and out of the hands of Solero. But this Iona Prep defense, again, certainly highly touted with the linebackers of Moultrie Goddard and Mackey, and obviously that young but really, really highly recruited and sought after secondary as well. And St. Anthony's has took it right to them, punched them in the mouth from the start. Torres, he will go long. Varsity finds his receiver. Miles with a big reception for the Friars.
Kenyon Miles does a great job here, high pointing the ball against good coverage by number 25, Teron Johnson. He's right where he needs to be, but just too big, too athletic. Number 13, Kenyon Miles, with a big grab to keep this drive rolling for the Friars.
And look, it's pretty obvious. It's not just a Friars game plan, right? Whenever you line up against Iona, you kind of want to throw away from Robinson, right? So Johnson will get a lot of that action, and so far a bevy of receivers have been difficult for him. We'll go the other way now. There's KJ Duff with the reception.
And KJ Duff lined up in the slot there. Ellis Robinson opposite the field from him. If you're Dante Torres, you see that opportunity at the line, and I saw him make that read pre-snap to go up to his big receiver, number 1, and keep this drive rolling.
And again, the efficiency by Torres has been outstanding, and you see the tackle made by Walden lost his lid. He's got to come out for a play. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line now for the Friars, who are just cooking offensively right now. Handoff. The cut to the outside, lowering the shoulder and getting a couple extra yards, but also looks like getting banged up a little bit on the play. Believe that might have been Ruda on the carry.
Impressive job by Ruda right there in that play. Not a lot cooking for him. His offensive line doesn't open up much, and Zion Moultrie Goddard breathing down his throat on a blitz package, but able to bounce it out, be the better athlete, get to the sideline, still pick up positive yardage for St. Anthony's. Let's hope that he's okay.
While Rudy gets checked out, we'll take a quick timeout as well. 5:22 to go here in the second quarter. St. Anthony's 20-7, the lead. You're watching it right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to showcase your skills for the next level. College recruiting videos help your athlete land a spot on the team and can save money on college tuition. Consider a professional video produced by Varsity Media. Our quality film and state-of-the-art editing will help your athlete stand out from the competition. We offer affordable rates and a quick turnaround. Contact Varsity Media today and book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Cy Donnelly Field. Hey, extra stands brought in for this one. That's how big of a game this is. The student section, they're lined up behind the goal line as well. And another great atmosphere here on a Friday night like none other. Torres' numbers continue to boggle the mind. 15 for 19, 254, 2 touchdowns. That's in not even 2 full quarters of work.
Absolutely stunning performance thus far, and the Friars really giving their fans what they came out to see. Additional capacity here tonight, and it is certainly electric for this matchup.
They go end zone. Looks like some contact, but an uncatchable ball out of the end zone. It was Miles, the intended target. It was Johnson with the coverage. So it's 3rd and 5. Again, they can get a first down. It's not a goal situation, so 3rd and 5 from the 6th.
I'd look to roll out Torres to the right and find my man number 1, KJ Duff.
He did roll, but instead it was an inside handoff, and that big front of Iona gobbled up that play. It was Morant with the run.
On that play, Capri Martin, number 55, does a really good job of maintaining his spot right there. Nose tackle for the Iona Gales, giving up nothing, and really shows you that natural talent. He's actually a state champion wrestler. I've worked a good bit with Capri, and really a very, very talented defensive lineman at only a junior.
And he did that giving up a lot of weight as well, where he's 245. There is the matchup we mentioned before, Duff and Robinson. Let's go their way. Touchdown for St. Anthony's. It was the other way that they'll go, and another big play there by Kenyon Miles.
And Dante Torres certainly seems to know where number 2 for Iona is before every single play, because I don't know if he's tested Ellis Robinson tonight. Teron Johnson, unfortunately, has been getting the raw end of that stick, been targeted consistently, and just another great play right there by number 13, going up, making the play, your 6'3" receiver.
PAT is good. And St. Anthony's extends their lead to 27-7 over Iona Prep. And
you know, Dylan, there's a lot of ways when we showed up tonight that we thought this game might have gone, but I don't necessarily know if this was one of those scenarios.
I think Dante Torres might have had an idea, right? 16 for 20, at least he hoped. 259 and 3 touchdowns, a much-deserved drink of water. And look, listen, you know, I mean, you've played in the trenches at the highest level, and you've played high school football on Long Island. It was a rough day against Stepinac, right? So that was your last sort of high-profile game. He's back here under the lights, and certainly in the first half, Dante has answered that bell and led St. Anthony's to this big lead to this point.
Yeah, I think that Archbishop Stepinac loss gave St. Anthony some very valuable experience, because throughout that game they were teetering on the brink of pulling ahead and potentially blowing that one out of the water against Archbishop Stepinac. Were unable to close out. So tonight they get another opportunity against a top caliber team in the Catholic League here in New York. Will they be able to keep the pedal to the metal, ride this momentum straight through the second half?
Off the kickoff and another slip. Second time we've seen this. Wasn't really any rain in the area, but we've seen now Morant out at midfield slip, and there on the return as well, a slip. So Iona Prep's offense back, and look, we showed you their schedule this year. They score points in bunches, so they have that ability certainly, right, where 63 against a down Christ the King team, 34 in that rivalry win against Stepanak, 35 and 35 in their last 2 games against Kellenberg and Hayes as well.
And right here, if I'm Coach Joe Spagnuolo, I'm going to lean on my RPO game. I'm going to look to get things going on the ground with my running backs and my quarterbacks and force the St. Anthony's defense to play you honestly.
The handoff did go to O'Garo, who came into this game with 30 carries for 153 yards and a touchdown. Dual threat back is the junior. He can catch the ball out of the backfield certainly as well as run it. He's their lead running back, but again, he got banged up that week 2 game against Bishop Hendrickson, which then forced multiple running backs to be implemented, and a few of those actually got injured in that Bosco loss as well in week 1. So you had the likes of Moultrie Goddard as well having to come in and go both ways, which we haven't seen a lot certainly in the Catholic League, as Shepard bounces it to the outside and he's forced out of bounds.
I know I keep coming back to this point, but it seems like every time number 3 for Iona is able to keep the ball in his hands, Johnny Shepard, he makes something good happen with it. I'd really look for Iona to continue to get that element of their offense going, because right now certainly nothing else is.
He moves the chains with that one as well, and Shepard again, right, at 6'2", 230, deceptive speed for his side. They come weak side, and there's a flag on the play as Ryan made the reception, but we'll see if this comes back. It's at the bottom of your screen by the St. Anthony's sideline, out by the 40. And this actually might go against St. Anthony's. A lot of clapping on that Iona Prep side. So you wonder if this is one of those like late hit varieties.
Something to certainly be wary of as a team playing with a 20-point lead here in the second quarters. Don't give the other team any opportunity to claw back in. Don't give them any freebies. So I know that any sort of extracurricular activity, any sort of penalties are going to be something that St. Anthony's looking to avoid from here on out. Iona's a good enough team to come back into this game. You certainly don't need to provide them any impetus for that.
So a discussion among the officials. We're awaiting the call by the white hat. So it's ineligible downfield, and then the personal foul against St. Anthony. So 2 flags on the play, and obviously that will push the personal foul. Will Iona down inside St. Anthony's territory at the 45-yard line. Oh, and another botched snap forces Shepard to go way back. He loses the football, and it goes out of bounds. That's actually a perfect situation for Iona, because if he's taken down, that's for a huge loss. And another miscommunication appears there from center to quarterback.
Absolutely. That's a break right there for Iona. That play doesn't result in an absolute huge loss, an absolute drive killer. But at the same time, those types of silly mistakes, those sloppy mistakes, are what Iona really needs to avoid against this talented St. Anthony's defense that will not give you anything that's unearned.
Shepard barrels himself forward and gets just about to the 30, or just outside of that to the 31. Again, good enough to move the chains for Iona. You mentioned the bloodlines, right, where Kadir, his older brother, 2.5-year starter at Ole Miss, went on and currently plays in the Canadian Football League, and middle brother Lutiel at Albany as well, a scholarship player there. Shepard faked it, I should say, to Robinson, took it himself. Only a couple yards there on that carry for Shepard.
I was speaking to Johnny's father actually right before the game, and he informed me next weekend they'll be making a trip out to Happy Valley in Penn State. His running presence has really been impressive so far. He's going to look to get that going as this game progresses, open up some other things in the passing game, but I think we've seen glimpses of why he's warranting consideration from such a level as the Big Ten.
2nd and 5. O'Garo motions out of the backfield. Shepard looks his way. A completed pass, and that's good enough for a first down. Colin O'Garo. That's where we showed you, right? That dual threat that he's got out of the backfield.
There's a very important drive here for Iona as they enter the red zone. This is going to be an absolute crucial drive to get some points up on the board as you're going into the second half. Give your team a boost. You're going to get the ball at halftime. If you're able to come away here with 7 points, you can at least know, hey, we're one drive away from a one-score game coming out of the tunnel.
Timeout by Iona Prep. And again, looks like maybe some miscommunication there as well on what the play call was. Iona Prep, St. Anthony's, Stepinac, Hayes, you would say certainly those top 4 teams, right, in the AAA. And again, we're so happy to be able to bring you these championship games November 20th from Mitchell Athletic Complex. And it's going to be a fun afternoon. As you mentioned, it's a long day for us, but we wouldn't want it any other way. All 3 games live in the Varsity Media Sports Network on the YouTube channel. You want to subscribe to that YouTube channel so you get all the notifications and all the realizations of that coming up, and another great look at the crowd here on a Friday night in South Huntington. Not a seat, it looks like, to be had, certainly, and they have been treated, the home fans at least have been treated by a great first half performance, but the Gales are looking to punch the ball in here and have some momentum maybe coming into the second half. Shepard under pressure, rolls out of it, has got a lot of room to run. Shepard bursts forward for the touchdown. 20-yard touchdown run for Johnny Shepard.
Going into that drive, I said Johnny Shepard has to get something going on the ground if this Iona offense is going to come back to life. Look right there, about 4 or 5 different runs as they march down the field and firmly put themselves back in a good position going into halftime to be able to come out quick out the gate and make this a close game once again.
And that's, again, what Joe Spagnuolo said about Shepard, deceptive speed, and he's just now learning, the Iona Prep head coach said of Shepard, just now learning how to use his body where he runs north to south instead of going east to west, and we saw it there, right, where he's flushed out and he went north-south to the end zone.
Absolutely. I can tell you I got the pleasure to work with his older brother a little bit as he was coming out of Ole Miss and headed towards that NFL Combine, and I can really see a lot of things, similarities between Johnny and Kadir. Kadir really stood out amongst all athletes, even in the SEC, at his size, but his straight line speed. Very, very twitchy guy, quick first step. And as I'm watching his younger brother play quarterback tonight, we're certainly seeing that, especially that last drive. Got a great quick first step, and he's a big kid at 230, 6'2". That's as big as a high school quarterback as you're going to find probably throughout the country.
And there you see that dual threat ability, right? 90 yards in the air, 78 on the ground, and that 20-yard touchdown. And it's been that way all year, right? He's thrown for 1,200 yards, but he's also run for 360 and 7. So 17 of the Gales' touchdowns have come directly from Johnny Shepard this year.
I'd look for Iona to also try to distribute the ball a little bit more as this second half approaches. St. Anthony's really put on a clinic in terms of the different weapons they've been able to utilize. We've seen a lot of Jolie tonight. We've seen a lot of Shepard. I'd look to really see some of those other talented guys such as Mike Senator, Ryan Boyle, Mike Ryan, some of the talent that they have out on the edge for Iona start to get involved a little bit more in this game.
So we'll see if St. Anthony's right under 2 minutes now. You go with that 2-minute offense on the clock. On the bottom of your screen, you could see 3 timeouts remaining for the Friars. 1:38 left. So they've got the ball at their own 35-yard line, and certainly the opportunity with those timeouts to stop the clock and kind of march downfield. A big possession here for the Friars as well. Empty backfield for Torres. Goes over the middle, looking for Longo. And it was incomplete. Kalani McIntyre was the man downfield for Iona.
We've certainly given Dante Torres his just due throughout this game for his tremendous performance in this first half, but can't really underscore enough the job that this St. Anthony's offensive front is doing with a new starter at left guard and Will Chavez, giving him all day long to try and pick between these 4 or 5 different great targets that he has on any given play.
Torres goes over the middle. He finds Miles. He's pulled down by Robinson at the 43-yard line. 3rd and 2. The clock continues to wind down. Here comes the pressure. And a good pass breakup on the far sideline.
And Scott Mackey did a great job, the linebacker, senior for Iona Prep, coming from depth on that blitz and is able to pierce through the St. Anthony's offensive line, force a rush throw from Dante Torres, and ultimately result in that incompletion on 3rd down.
Yeah, Mackey, number 26 for Iona, has been really good this year. 29 tackles, 4 for losses, 2 INTs. He'll go on and play at Villanova to play lacrosse. Might be the best lacrosse player in the school for Iona Prep. So they'll not go. It'll be 4th and 2, but...
And don't look now, but St. Anthony's has found themselves in a bit of a precarious situation. Looking to be aggressive, getting that ball back, 1:38 and a half to try and put some more points up on the board. Well, a couple of incompletions result in not much time burning off, and then all of a sudden you're looking at the prospect of handing the ball back over to that red-hot Iona offense, who's got a lot of confidence with ample time to get down the field. So I'm interested to see how Coach Minucci works with his team through this situation, but it's going to be really big for them to clamp down here before the half and be able to walk in with that 13-point lead.
So here's why this one is so important, right? You see the Catholic AAA/AA1 standings, and you see Iona Prep at the very top of that, undefeated in league play, and Stepanak off that win over St. Anthony's, 4-1, but so too are the Friars of St. Anthony's. So when we spoke to Joe Minucci this week, kind of said, well, do you kind of think that loss maybe against Stepanak kind of puts you in the 3 position? He said, well, you know what? We kind of like the idea of winning here on Friday night and maybe just throwing it all into a big jumble, right, where you could have potentially 3 teams with 1 loss to end the season. That would be a lot of fun, I think. And
I think it would be fitting for what we've seen so far in the Catholic League this year. I think it's been really marked by parity, by strong, deep programs here at the top. 2 of them fighting out on the field here today. But I think it really is a type of league where any given Friday, any given Saturday, anything could happen, which is all why I'm so absolutely excited to be calling the Catholic League Championship game with you in a couple weeks.
Punt by Goldstein will go out of bounds, so Iona Prep will try to march the ball downfield. They've only got, you see in the bottom of your screen, that 1 timeout remaining. 52 seconds left, 53 seconds left in this first half. They've got a long field to go, but again, we've shown the big playability by Iona. They don't need much time. They don't need many yards to put up a big result.
Absolutely. That Friars defense needs to pay special attention to number 7, Justin Jolie, especially on this drive. He's that guy where Coach Spagnolo has the confidence in him. If we get him the ball, he'll make somebody miss. He'll make something happen. I'd look for them to pay a lot of attention to number 7 lined up in the slot.
1st and 10 from the 22. Jolie is your blocker, and there's a flag on the play. It might be against him here on a hold. It was Senator who's the receiver, but again, this looks to likely come back.
And a tough spot right here. Justin Jolie does a great job blocking out on the edge, looking to stalk block, but unfortunately, if you get your hands outside of his framework on the edge, a ref is going to call holding 10 times out of 10. Gets caught with the flag, and drive is stymied thus far for Iona.
So this will push the Gales further back, and first and 15 from inside their 20. From the 17, Shepard. Got one back. I think it's Ogaro to his left. Pressure comes, cuts it inside. Good job defensively by St. Anthony's to wrap him up.
And who else but Andrew Bardak right in there on that play again. Flowing up to the quarterback alongside the first-time starter, Spencer Borgat, who's been doing a really good job filling in for Michael Fitzgerald tonight.
And you love the spot that you see Borgat in, right? He's, to quote Minucci, he's been the next guy up in a few different opportunities, a few different spots. Now he gets a chance to impact the game. Shepard throws it to the outside. It is complete. And trying to force his way out of bounds was Joe Lee. He tumbles out towards that track, and there is a flag on the play as well.
And that work to get out of bounds might work against Iona Prep, as now they're going to likely have to get a punt off. Or forgive me, that was second down.
Well, they're certainly, unless you get a big play, Pat, they're kind of getting themselves in that kind of situation, right? Where they're going the wrong way.
Absolutely. Our clock showing 5.3 left in the first half. Though this certainly wasn't the first half that you're looking for if you're Coach Spagnuolo over at Iona Prep, I think there's a lot of things you can talk to your team about at halftime, a few adjustments that you can make to really put this game in the right direction coming out of the gate. They're able to get some things going at the end of the second quarter. This offense is starting to click, starting to look a little bit more confident, tough sledding early on. But if they're able to carry some of that late second quarter momentum, I think this could really be a tight game as this goes along.
Now let's see what we have here. Shepard. He'll just hand off. Good cut to the outside. Some decent yardage there from Ogaro, but ultimately will be for naught because it's the final play of the first half. Dante Torres. What a first half for the Friars junior QB. He has led St. Anthony's to this 27-14 lead at the break. We'll take a quick break at halftime. We'll take a quick break here at halftime, and we've got it's smelling pretty good here in the booth as well. How about some Rocco's Pizza and Catering? Pat, we've got a little review to do here at halftime. Hope you're ready for that one.
I've been working up an appetite, but I think I'm very, very well suited to eat pizza and talk about it, more so than I'm suited to talk about football.
We'll do that after this quick break. It's the Catholic AAA Showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents and athletes, why leave your college career in the hands of amateurs? Varsity Media produces professional college recruiting videos that you can use to help land a spot on the team. Our highlight reels have proven to save thousands of dollars in college tuition. You've worked hard and put the effort into your high school athletic career. Don't take any chances when it comes to your future. Varsity Media has been producing college recruiting videos since 2010. We understand what college coaches are looking for, and our attention to detail on your highlights will separate your resume from others. Stand out from the crowd. We'll help showcase your talents. Contact Varsity Media today and order a college recruiting video.
Welcome back to St. Anthony's. 27-14 is your score. Students
Parents and athletes,
at halftime, but they're not going to be quite as entertained as we will be, at least certainly with our stomachs here at halftime. We've got Rocco's Pizza and Catering. This is kind of a thing that we started last week where we, out at Syosset, right, we had a little bit of a taste test of pizza, and Rocco's, I think, is taking it to a different level here. Rocco's on 247 Broadway, Green Lawn Road in Huntington. Your neck of the woods. So
absolutely. I'm a Green Lawn guy by birth, so I'm obviously partial, but one of the reasons I came out here tonight is not just to watch this fantastic Catholic League game. It was primarily for the fantastic halftime pizza that we've been excited about all night, carrying me through my Friday. So I'm kind of excited to just dig in.
So we got Rocco's. It's authentic. It's brick oven pizza. They got that great balance of sauce, cheese, and dough. Listen, we've talked enough about it. Let's lift this lid. We'll show everybody what this is going to look like here. We'll get Chris in as well. And there you see, this is looking. You're already jumping in. I love it. I love it.
Hey, I might get a little bit aggressive. I can't be held accountable for anything I do with pizza in front of me.
All right, we got the folds, all right, nice and warm.
What I have to give credit to is the cheese stays perfectly on the pizza. This isn't a sloppy cheese pizza. You know, it's going to stay exactly where you want it. And if you're a true Long Islander, you know how to fold.
All right.
So,
you ready? Here we go. All right. First thoughts.
I don't know if I'll ever be going to another pizza place but Rocco's Pizzeria right next to 7-Eleven on Broadway, Green Lawn. Really as advertised in every single way. I'm just excited for my second bite.
I was wondering, where's the pie for the crew? Because we're knocking this one out of the box.
Oh, absolutely. I'm at least good for 4 slices. I think Dylan can hang with me there. So really apologies to the rest of the Varsity Media crew. But like I said, can't be held accountable for what I do with Rocco's Pizza right in front of me.
So listen, Green Lawn, Elmwood, Huntington as well. That's your delivery area. You can order on Slice. You can call 631-740-3155. We also have a special deal as well. So, and listen, any deal, right? Rocco's is a great one. So for a limited time, 10% off on Slice until Halloween, or you can call or visit. You mentioned St. Anthony's, you mentioned Varsity Media. You're going to get 10% off. And also, they got a great deal. This is one, by the way, I think we're going to take out of here. It's $24.95, 1 cheese pie, 12 signature wings, and 12 garlic knots. I mean, how do you go wrong with that?
Listen, I didn't need any extra incentive to go right back to Rocco's on the way home and order some more pizza, but now that I know I'm getting 10% off, sorry, baby, you might have wanted a little bit of an extra Christmas gift. I know where I'm spending my money this year.
All right, so it's Rocco's Pizza and Catering. We want to thank them, obviously, so much for the pie. We've got more as well, by the way. I think there's knots and wings coming as well.
All right.
Are you ready for that?
Well, hey, I think I'm going to be very happy, maybe a little sleepy for the second half because I think this might just hit the spot. But really can't thank the Campbells and everybody over at Rocco's for taking care of us with this fantastic pizza. We really love it. Rocco's
Pizza and Catering, 247 Broadway, Green Lawn Road, 631-740-3155. Let's take a quick break. We're going to eat. I don't know if you guys are going to eat at home, but we've got some first-half highlights as well, stats coming up as well. It's at halftime, 27-14 is the score. St. Anthony's leads Iona Prep on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Over the middle, he's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later. Going long. Wide open. Perazzi. He gets it. Perazzi. Foot raise. 10, 5. Make it. Touchdown. Punch. Counter punch. The trickery. Ryder gets it back. Goes over the top for Haberman. What a catch. Just Ross Simmons strips him. That's loose. And Ross Simmons is going to take this the other direction. Make it. Touchdown. Touchdown East.
Parents and athletes, why leave your college career in the hands of amateurs? Varsity Media produces professional college recruiting videos that you can use to help land a spot on the team. Our highlight reels have proven to save thousands of dollars in college tuition. You've worked hard and put the effort into your high school athletic career. Don't take any chances when it comes to your future. Varsity Media has been producing college recruiting videos since 2010. We understand what college coaches are looking for, and our attention to detail on your highlights will separate your resume from others. Stand out from the crowd. We'll help showcase your talents. Contact Varsity Media today and order a college recruiting video.
Get a good return or some terrific field position. A better job there by McAloney getting it low. It takes a bounce and fielded at about the 42-yard line. Cutting to the outside is Josiah Brown. Brown breaks a tackle. Brown in the end zone. Touchdown, Josiah Brown.
West, it's a trick play, airing it out to the end zone. Brady West, touchdown, Cyclones, Michael Melkonian.
He will go deep, looking for Katola, double coverage. Touchdown, Syosset! Incredible! Luca Katola, 32 yards.
It's time to get hyped with Varsity Media. We offer an array of video services sure to amp up your team. From staged preseason hype videos with custom lighting and smoke machines to sideline highlights of a big game. How can your team stand out from the crowd? Contact Varsity Media today and let us tailor something your squad will never forget. These are the best times of your life. Capture them in the most creative ways possible with the sports leader, Varsity Media.
Julo
over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later. Going long. Wide open for Rossi. He gets it. Rossi. Foot raise. 10, 5. Make it. Touchdown. Punch. Counter punch. Trickery, Ryder gets it back, goes over the top for Haberman. What a catch! Just Ross Simmons strips him, that's loose, and Ross Simmons is going to take this the other direction. Make it! Touchdown! Touchdown East!
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
We welcome you back to Cy Donnelly Field. It's halftime here, and it's St. Anthony's with a 27-14 lead over Iona Prep in a battle of Catholic AAA powerhouses. What a first half it was, and what an early statement by the Friars, as led by their junior QB, Dante Torres, who has been spectacular. He's led them to a few touchdowns. This is his second throwing touchdown. He finds a wide open Timmy Longo for a 20-yard score. Longo having a big first half. Really, Torres able to use the multitude of his receivers. KJ Duff's the guy who gets a lot of the cred, right? A lot of the talk, but certainly we saw there Longo, and he finds another one of his receivers in Miles here for another score to extend the Friars' lead. This is a 5-yard touchdown. You see right there, a little out. Getting up and getting it was Miles over Johnson, the freshman. Touchdown for the Friars, but we knew Iona would get a response, and it came from their dual-threat quarterback, Ajani Shepard. A 20-yard touchdown run. Here you see it flush out of the pocket, rolls it right. Ajani Shepard, another one of those Sims disciples, Phil and Matt Sims, coaching up Shepard as well. He gets it out to the outside for the score, and that's where we are right now. 27-14 is your score. Some first half stats for you. Look at the passing numbers for St. Anthony's. Just unbelievable. They've thrown for 344 yards against the secondary that is young, but certainly highly touted for Iona Prep. Rushing yards, pretty similar as well. 20 more yards rushed by Iona. But, Pat, when we look at the numbers offensively for St. Anthony's, certainly that 344 for passing yards just jumps off the screen at you.
Especially against his defensive backfield for Iona Prep. We thought that was going to be the toughest point in the game to get rolling for St. Anthony's. Obviously, Torres is a very capable quarterback, but we thought being pressed against some of this elite talent in that defensive secondary for Iona Prep was going to present some real issues. Obviously, thus far, 344 yards through the air, it's been the opposite of an issue, and I think that just kind of speaks to the plethora of different talented guys that Coach Benucci and Dante Torres have to call upon. Again,
we are the official broadcast partner of the 2021 Catholic High School Football League Championships, your AA2, your AA1, and the big boys, the AAA as well, all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. November 20th from Mitchell Athletic Complex. Listen, I'm not a meteorologist, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be windy, it's going to be cold, but it's going to be some great football we have for you as well. All 3 games on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You want to, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel to get all those updates as well, and that's how you do it. Right, that's like a little drawn-up play, right? You see the logo on YouTube, hit that button, subscribe. That's how you do it on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Doesn't get easier than that, you know. Through your Apple TV, through your Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, whatever you got, toss on that YouTube channel and watch 1080p live from Varsity Media all season long.
We again want to thank the folks at Rocco's. Those people watching on those devices at home, they might be pretty hungry right now, having that close-up view of the pizza, and there's wings here as well. This press box has been treated to some great food by Rocco's.
And I apologize for everyone who we tempted at home, but just a reminder, if you're living in that Green Lawn, Elwood, Huntington area, give a call. Rocco's Pizza right next to 7-Eleven. I guarantee you they're delivering all Friday night. I'm sure their phones are ringing off the hooks, but I can really testify that you will be very, very happy with the direction of your weekend as soon as that call's made.
And Pat, even if you're not, man, just call them up and drive out there. Right?
Oh.
It's well worth the drive.
I live in Midtown Manhattan, and I am very, very happy to come out here for Rocco's Pizza every chance I get.
So the Friars will be kicking the ball off, and that's why not allowing Iona to score there late. Certainly the touchdown there by Shepard was big, but not allowing them another score was big because they do get the football here to start the second half. Goldstein, the kickoff to start the third quarter. It is fumbled and recovered at about the 15-yard line, bouncing it to the outside, still on his feet. A good return, and will get out to about the 27 by Robinson. And that's a point of emphasis for Joe Minucci, and it burned him and his team in the Stepanak loss with special teams and giving up the big plays. We saw Ellis Robinson get that 89-yard kickoff return, and that was addressed. It was addressed and taken care of a little bit in that more Catholic game, but obviously a different level of competition here tonight.
Absolutely. I was very surprised to see them kick to number 2 again. Doesn't burn them this time, and Iona will get the start at the 27.
Man in motion is Senator, and that run is blown up. It was Ogaro again, and there's your man, Andrew Bardak.
Right in there with the defensive tackle Sean McCabe, the senior, who's also had a very good year to date, but Bardak just continues to be active. Those instincts paying dividends as he lives in the Iona backfield.
And he lives for playing for St. Anthony's, and we've detailed his story before, right? He wanted to play out at West Point, was told he was too small, perhaps not able to make the roster, but he'll go there anyway. The run by Shepard and wrapping him up.
And Johnny Shepard doesn't even go down on that play with 5 Friar defenders at his ankles at the very end, just showing off that 6'2", 230-pound build as he's brought down by Joe Dodchero.
And a flag on the play. And this will be, certainly judging by the way they're backing up, you see the call there, an offensive holding penalty. So those penalties have been big in this game. We've seen multiple penalties for both teams, and this one will back Iona Prep all the way back to, looks like their 20-yard line, 15-yard line.
We've seen both offenses tonight continually put themselves behind the chains each drive, and whereas St. Anthony's has been able to utilize the passing game, claw out of a lot of 2nd and 20, 3rd and 20 type situations, Iona hasn't been able to get the ball downfield to that extent. So we'll see.
And there's the hats to the football that you talked about, right? The pass was complete. Looked like that was Jolie, but again, multiple Friars right in on the tackle.
Tough situation to be put in coming out of in the second half, 3rd and 13, right next to that St. Anthony's student section. I know it's getting loud in there. Tough to communicate for the Gales offense.
It's one of the points that, as there you see, the crowd here, the student section, out here at St. Anthony's, 3rd and 13 from the 25-yard line. Joe Spagnuolo talked about how difficult it is to play here. Said you're minus 10 before you even get off the bus. Shepard looks, flushed out, rolls right, goes up his own sideline, and he's forced down, but a great run by Shepard. He needed 13.
Good job in that continual pursuit by the St. Anthony's defensive line, getting up in Shepard's face, staying there, pursuing him, and ultimately causing him to flush out.
He gets the first down,
Wow.
though, and again, that's sort of the understanding, right, of what you need and the yards, and you take a look up at the chains. Huge run for Shepard. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Little miscommunication there. Senator. You see Shepard maybe trying to tell him to roll out. He dumps it down and an incomplete pass. Shepard not happy there, and we could see that being an issue even before the ball was snapped.
Absolutely. You never like to see communication issues at the line of scrimmage, especially between a wide receiver and his quarterback. Very important for those two players to be on the same page and ultimately unable to connect on the quick slant.
Bardak already up to 9 tackles in this game. Again, he's the leader in that category for the Friars. Came into this game with 37 on the season. 2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line. Shepard finds Jolie. And nowhere to go. Wrapped up and taken backwards by Michael Leo.
Michael Leo, the Syracuse lacrosse commit, showing that dual sport athleticism there in the defensive secondary for St. Anthony's. Here on 3rd and 8, I'd really look for a Johnny Shepard to get things going using his feet again. It really seems like any time that the offense for Iona has really gotten anything going tonight has been behind the feet of a Johnny Shepard. Look for him to do more of the same here on 3rd and 6.
Leo, all he did last game against Moore Catholic, had a sack, 2 INTs, 3 tackles. Shepard's wrapped up and sacked.
Shepard is sacked. Sacked by number 89, Spencer.
And there's Borgart again.
And you love to see this Spencer Borgart, the senior, stepping in, starting for the first time in his career, and really making a big impact. Coach Minucci has said that he's been that hard-working guy ready to step in to wherever he's called upon and coming up big for the Gales there on 3rd down.
His 2nd sack of the year. And the punt is fielded by Longo, and a short return for him. And now St. Anthony's can really put Iona Prep behind the 8 ball here if they can get in the end zone. And that man right there, what a first half Dante Torres had. Listen, if you're playing fantasy Catholic League football and you've got Torres as your QB, you're a happy guy. 300 yards in the air plus the touchdowns as well. And he's leading the Friars back out onto the field as the defense gets a big hand by the Friar faithful. From their own 34 are the Friars. First drive of the 2nd half. Torres fakes the handoff. He will go long looking for Jenkins and just over his shoulder.
And he put that ball right where it needed to be. Jaden Jenkins down the sideline with a step on the corner, just unable to connect.
Johnson was the cornerback in coverage. 2nd and 10. I think you like the idea there too as well, Pat, right? Let's go along, and if we connect, it's a huge play, and if not, it's only 2nd and 10.
Absolutely. Keep this defense on their heels. You know, Iona might be looking for St. Anthony's to get something established in the run game and try and milk the clock being up by a couple scores. I like the approach of, hey, let's take it to them.
Taking it to the defense is KJ Duff, taken down at the 50-yard line. Move those chains for the Friars.
And that's good for a St. Anthony's first down.
And it truly is remarkable how seamless these connections have been between Dante Torres and his wide receiver group. Duff right over the middle, puts the ball exactly where it needs to be in a tight window to move the chains.
That time it was McIntyre in coverage. And look at this, burst to the outside, shifty run there by Escobar. Escobar coming into this game has really kind of been like the lead back, but again, it's been running back by committee for St. Anthony's between Escobar, Ruda, and Morant. Really all similar numbers, right? Where you had Escobar 32 carries in the year coming in, Ruda 31, Morant 28, so good balance there of the running backs for St. Anthony's.
Escobar provides a nice quickness wrinkle as we see him shifting on the zone read right there. Escobar does a really good job of getting the ball out of the backfield, making things happen in space, a little bit more of a speedy, quick guy than the other backs, and certainly a great wrinkle to throw in there here in the 3rd quarter where you've beaten him down with Ruda a little bit. You've been going at the Iona defense all day long. Well, here's a little bit more speed if you weren't ready for it.
Escobar's older brother Mario, a running back for St. Anthony's in 2018-19. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Quick pass over the middle and in and out of the hands of, looked like Solero.
intended for Solero.
So 2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line. Solero will check out of the game. Got Matos down low, but inside, and he's been inside all game, has been KJ Duff. There's the handoff. Oh, look at his burst up the middle. First down and more. No flags on the play, and how about that run? Josh Escobar.
We talked about his speed a couple minutes ago. Hits you with it right here. Able to allow the play to develop in front of him, see the hole, and sees it. That burst is certainly scary for any defense.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Friars in business here.
Goal, Friars from the 8-yard line.
Duff now alone at the bottom of your screen. Handoff again, cutting it inside, reversing it, but good job defensively by that front group of Iona for a loss of 1. Mackey, the lead tackler there.
Also saw Moultrie Goddard in there on that play. Hasn't had the biggest night for a truly stellar player, but getting involved there in the backfield.
Number 26, Mackey, has been a guy, really, he started the year, he was going to be penciled in at strong safety, but he played outside linebacker in the spring, and there you see that matchup. You see 2 for Iona on the outside. Will Duff go his way if he gets the football? 2nd and goal from the 9. They will go that way. Touchdown, St. Anthony's. KJ Duff, the sophomore sensation. A 9-yard touchdown reception.
And what a huge drive for St. Anthony's. Coming out there after your defense starts off the half exactly how you wanted, accentuate it with a nice touchdown right there to go up.
We'll take a look. How about this? Here's the ISO look.
And you love that. That's a classic pick play, not dissimilar to the one that Clemson won the national championship on my sophomore year in 2016. What you do is run a receiver through the middle, clear out big number 2, Ellis Robinson, and make sure that your top receiver, KJ Duff, has a wide open opportunity in the corner. Touchdown.
Yeah, Pat Godfrey has a couple of those championship rings with Clemson, and 34-14 is your score. We talked about the potential of a primetime matchup, right, between 2 of the top sophomores certainly in their position in the state of New York. With Robinson, it's in the country. That one, it looked like it could have been that situation, but as you mentioned, right, great pick play, but there you see that's as good as it gets. When we spoke to Joe Spagnuolo, the Iona coach, he says, look, Robinson, we know, right? He's a gamer. He loves these kind of matchups if he's in that matchup. But really, more so, he said, we love this to be possibly for the next 3 years, where it's Robinson and Duff maybe going mano-a-mano in big games on Friday nights and perhaps in championship games as well.
What a treat for anybody who loves Catholic League football. I mean, these are 2 of the best guys who have come through this league in a long time, and they're only sophomores. Scary to think about who these guys are going to progress into over the next couple of years.
Well, this time they will not kick the ball to number 2. Another 2 that Spagnuolo said was, you know, in social media you get maybe a little caught up in that kind of matchup. But he said, listen, I've gotten to know, Spagnuolo said, Duff for the past year and a half, right, in this league. Couldn't speak highly enough of Duff as a person, as a human being. He says he's got to know his dad as well a little bit through these games like this, and says he can't speak more about the Duff family. And certainly great where you've got rivals, right, but guys who get it as well, and Spagnuolo and his opposing coach in Minucci.
I think that sense of mutual respect really characterizes the Catholic League here in New York State. A lot of great coaches, a lot of top programs bitterly going at it each year, but always a high level of respect for your opponent, knowing that these guys work hard on the field and in the classroom every day.
Shepard chased out to the track around St. Anthony's. And that's that option that you said you wanted to see a little more of, with Shepard using his legs. He'll get out to the 40-yard line on that first down run.
Well, we've seen it since the start of this game. It's really been a two-dimensional attack for this Iona Gales offense, really between looking for their quarterback, Shepard, to get the run game going, and then out to Jolie, number 7, on the perimeter. Aside from that, haven't gotten a lot of their top playmakers going. Looking to see a little bit more out of Senator, looking to see a little bit more out of O'Boyle, who's a big play guy for them. Spread this around and really diversify your attack, I think. It has to be the main approach right now for Iona.
And it seems like, too, Senator and Shepard just not maybe on the same page. There you see as well, right? A ball bounced in front of Senator, and it's a big third down now for the Gales. 3rd and 6 from the 40. It's O'Garo in motion. Shepard calls his own number. What a burst up the middle. Another first down run by Ajani Shepard.
And at 2:30, once he gets a full head of steam, I'm yet to see the tackler who wants to bring it to him.
Here you see it again. Tucks down.
And that's a great job right there on a draw. You know that whole defensive line is itching to get into their pass rush, try and beat somebody around the edge. Well, you use that aggression against the defensive line. Let them get upfield. Let your quarterback very quickly find a seam, and it's wide open behind it.
1st and 10 from the 46. Shepard in the air. This time he does connect with Senator. Makes one player miss, and he's forced out of bounds by Leo inside the 35. Senator, a guy who, and again in our conversation with the head coach at Iona Prep, says he's the quintessential Wes Welker slot type, right? A great route runner, catches everything in his vicinity, a versatile player as well. Had a breakout game against Cardinal Hayes, comes into that one off that big performance. O'Garo, oh, there's the fake. Shepard chased by Bardak. Bardak dives at his feet, but it's Shepard who gets a couple extra yards and scampers out of bounds.
Just another incredibly impressive play there by Ajani Shepard. A bit of a broken play there in the backfield, looking at an RPO, potentially going to hand it off to your running back. He pulls it, looks like he's in trouble, able to break a couple tackles and make a positive gain out of that. That's as impressive a play as I've seen all night.
He broke a tackle from Michael Leo, who's injured right now, and that's a tough loss there, if it is a loss for St. Anthony's in their secondary. He's been spectacular for them. There you see him getting worked at by the training staff. We'll take a quick break as well as Leo gets worked on. 4:55 left in this third quarter at St. Anthony's with a 34-14 lead. You're watching this Catholic League AAA showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Main point of this is to give these young men an opportunity to display their skills here in front of scouts, whether they're in person or scouts who are watching. This is their time to show that they belong amongst the best that Long Island has here.
Back to St. Anthony's. It's O'Garo bouncing it to the outside, forced out of bounds. That's been a positive, certainly, for Joe Spagnuolo. Again, it's been very much running back by a large committee. 5 running backs on the year. O'Garo was the feature back. Good to see him back and getting some meaningful minutes here against St. Anthony's. Here's Shepard. Looking for blockers, cuts inside, and he's taken down from behind.
And one of the reasons why Iona's had a lot of success, great tackle there by Ian Strong coming up, but one of the reasons they're having success on this drive is they've incorporated a little bit more of that RPO game, the run-pass option into every single play call, and that's given Shepard the liberty to use his athleticism to be able to read downfield and ultimately be a top athlete. And really that's what they need to do. Simplify this game and keep moving through the St. Anthony's defense.
2nd and 5 from the 10. Shepard hands off. It's the big dog, Turner, pushing forward, and he is stopped just shy of the end zone. It actually looks like it was O'Garo actually on the carry. It was Turner who was supposed to be the lead runner to start the game, but it was O'Garo, and what a chance here for, there you see how far the football is from the end zone. 1st and goal from the 1.
I'd look to go right behind big number 74, Scott Becker. And that's what they do for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Iona.
Zion Moultrie-Goddard, the big middle linebacker who you might have gotten used to seeing on the other side of the field for Iona, comes in the short yardage specialty situation and is able to pick up the touchdown.
Yeah, good luck, by the way, with Goddard trying to stop him. And as you mentioned, when you got a great block there by Becker, it's as easy as you like for Zion Moultrie-Goddard. He came into this game again, right? Like, the idea as the PAT is up and good, the idea is really to kind of use him on those situations, on those goal situations. But because of so many injuries, and again, it's not the most ideal situation for the Iona Prep coaching staff, is Goddard's had to come in and run a lot this year. He came into this game with 29 carries for 266 yards and 4 touchdowns. Moultrie-Goddard, a guy who, again, in our conversation with Joe Spagnuolo, said probably could play 8 to 9 different positions on the football field. You can line up as a D-end, outside linebacker, a fullback, a running back. He's all over the place. There's Shepard's numbers, and what a balance there in his that RPO that you mentioned.
Absolutely. Moultrie-Goddard was used throughout a lot of this season as kind of a tone setter for this Iona offense. Big 240 back, you can throw back there, break some tackles. Haven't seen him utilized all that much tonight, but he's really a tough guy once you get down there in that goal line situation to bring down.
So 34. 21 is your score. 3:32 left in this 3rd quarter. Fielded at the 20-yard line. Looks like that's Longo, and he'll get out to about the 30 as the St. Anthony's offense will take the field. And again, with so many playmakers for Iona Prep, it's almost, you got to think for them, it's like, we're going to break one, guys. We're going to get a big play. Hang in there. On to the next play. Obviously, St. Anthony's has done a great job away from Robinson this game and targeting perhaps Johnson at the other corner. But again, he's a big-time player as well. He's got an INT on the year, 13 tackles, 1 for loss. So that's been one of the things that Spagnuolo's liked from his young secondary. Guys like Connolly, Walden, and Johnson, it's always kind of been on to the next play. If we get beat long, don't worry about it. Let's get him on the next play. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for St. Anthony's. They'll hand the ball off. Scooting it to the outside. And bouncing off a tackle there was Escobar.
Escobar turns on the Jets in a play that looks like it was called to be an inside zone. As an offensive lineman, I could tell you, typically you want to keep that on the inside and not bounce it outside, but that's assuming that you don't have the incredible wheels of Josh Escobar.
7-yard gain on 1st down. Torres looks like he checks the play here on the line. Back to the handoff, and it's read well by Iona Prep.
In the backfield, big number 8, Zion Moultrie-Goddard, just after getting that big touchdown on the other end zone, coming into the backfield, blowing the play up.
Chris Foster as well in on the play.
36 from the 34.
And St. Anthony's in yet another 3rd down situation. Feels like all night they've had their backs pressed up against the wall, but have done a tremendous job in these 3rd and 4th down situations of converting. Another opportunity here for Dante Torres.
3rd and 6. Here come the Gales over the middle looking for Duff. It is incomplete. Darrell Reeves, the linebacker, was in on coverage.
Reeves on the coverage, brings up fourth down.
And that's the big play that perhaps they were talking about defensively, right? Iona Prep.
Great job by big number 72, Jalen Hicks for Iona Prep, coming up the middle out of that nose guard spot, getting in the face of Dante Torres and forcing the errant throw.
The defensive coordinator for Iona Prep, a guy that you know well if you follow football up in Westchester County, Lou D'Arienzo, the former New Rochelle coach. And what a get that is for Spagnuolo, and we'll talk about that as we come along. But to have a guy with his experience now as your defensive coordinator just is huge for the Gales. There's the punt, and it will angle itself out of bounds, and we'll stay on that point as we have the opportunity. But, you know, Spagnuolo says, listen, Westchester's a small town, right? So everybody who's in football kind of knows each other. That was the case with D'Arienzo, he said, and he kind of called him a borderline mentor, right, for him as he was coming up as a young coach. Spagnuolo right out of college, out of Bryant, and he says, you know, they would often, when he got the job at Iona Prep, you know, they'd have New Rochelle in for a 7-on-7 or a controlled scrimmage, or he just kind of stayed in touch. When the opportunity came up where D'Arienzo was available, Spagnuolo went to him right away. Great line there, he said as well. He says, it's great when you're the head coach and you're not the best coach on your own coaching staff, and that's what he says D'Arienzo is. Senator motions out to the right and flags on the play. Perhaps a little extra motion there on the Iona Prep offense.
And hearing of Coach D'Arienzo's addition to the Iona staff really makes me think back to a relationship that I got to see up close and personally for a series of years between Dabo Sweeney and his college coach at Alabama, Woody McCorvey, who was actually on staff as an advisor throughout my entire time at Clemson. Coach McCorvey was always a guy that Coach Sweeney leaned on, and as great a coach as Joe Spagnuolo is, he's also a great enough coach to know he might not know everything. You're always better off by bringing fresh, strong talent into the building, and I think Coach D'Arienzo does just that.
Robinson motioned out to the right. That's a great read there by Iona Prep. Look at Shepard taking several Friars with him into St. Anthony's side of the field.
And don't look now, but Iona has the ball in St. Anthony's territory in position to make this a one-score game.
And I love that call, too, because you motion Robinson out to the right, so now you've got to keep an eye out for him. And Shepard just barreled his way forward for another first down. 1st and 10 from the Friars' 43-yard line. Shepard, good protection, rolls out right. He's now chased, still looks for options, tries to cut and turn, and he is taken down. And again, Bardak in on the tackle, as well as it looked like McCabe, number 91.
And couldn't you almost see the thought process of a Johnny Shepard thinking he's going to get that right edge until you see number 40 barreling down at you. In a one-on-one situation, I might take Shepard over most guys, but 40 is as sure a tackler as you're going to find in the Catholic League.
Sack on the play, so loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Shepard comes this way for Jolie, spins at the 40, spins again, breaks a tackle, taken down at about the 37-yard line.
And it seems like every time Jolie touches the ball, he's just that close to breaking one big. Certainly a tough guy to bring down, and St. Anthony's has done a relatively good job of containing him tonight.
Spagnuolo said he's got these massive hands, does Jolie, over 11-inch hands, and he says when we need a big play, he's our guy. He's one of our captains who has matured so much this year, thinks that Jolie is maybe the best playmaker in the Catholic Football League. Timeout by St. Anthony's on this huge third down play. 3rd and 4. Big game here, Pat, but we've got a few big ones as well throughout Long Island. Here's our schedule coming up. We are all over the place. These are all massive games, right? You see Wantagh, Plain Edge, MacArthur, Garden City at the bottom of your screen. Those are undefeated teams taking each other on. 2 of the biggest games in Nassau County, and I'll be out at Hills East to see Dakim Griffin and the explosive Thunderbirds taking on the Tigers of Northport. Kickoff for that game 1:30. 2 o'clock starts for the other 2. Watch all of these games on the Varsity Media Sports Network on the YouTube channel. We need a whip-around channel.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I think that's the next thing we're going to do with Ben Turchin. Get a whip-around. And
Varsity Media Game Day sounds like a
right.
beautiful thing.
we'll have you maybe situated in your booth at your home office and just kind of going throughout all the action. That's
Hey,
how you subscribe,
if Ben can provide the libations, I will call football all day, every day.
Where's Rocco's? We need 3rd and 4. Big play here for both teams. Senator motions to the right. Shepard takes it himself. It's Leo with the sack. Uncle Leo coming back. And again, this is a guy who was injured just a few plays ago, comes back in, and what a massive play for the Friars.
And we haven't seen a lot of this, that trailing pursuit of a Johnny Shepard being successful. Leo really showing why he has Division I lacrosse talent. Syracuse is going to be very lucky to have that kind of closing speed around their crease in future years.
2nd sack of the year. And that will do it for the 3rd quarter. What a game we have. You don't want to go anywhere. We've got 12 more minutes of football left. Can Joe Minucci and his guys close this one out here at St. Anthony's? I think Ellis Robinson, Joe Lee, and those guys might have something to say about it. 34-21 is your score. St. Anthony's with the lead. You're watching this Catholic AAA showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents and athletes, why leave your college career in the hands of amateurs? Varsity Media produces professional college recruiting videos that you can use to help land a spot on the team. Our highlight reels have proven to save thousands of dollars in college tuition. You've worked hard and put the effort into your high school athletic career. Don't take any chances when it comes to your future. Varsity Media has been producing college recruiting videos since 2010. We understand what college coaches are looking for, and our attention to detail on your highlights will separate your resume from others. Stand out from the crowd. We'll help showcase your talents. Contact Varsity Media today and order a college recruiting video.
Welcome back to St. Anthony's. Dylan Butler, Pat Godfrey here. What a huge play here in this ball game. The first play of the 4th quarter. Johnny Shepard brings his guys onto the field.
Make sure to note big number 8 back there, Zion Moultrie-Goddard at running back.
Senator to the outside. Here comes the pressure. Oh, and it's incomplete. It was on the money. Looked like it was Joe Lee who was the intended target, but out of his hands, incomplete. Kassan Green was in on coverage, and it'll be a turnover on downs.
And that was truly a crucial junction in the game for the offensive Iona Prep. Looking to get something going, bring this to a 1-score game. Instead, that veteran defense of St. Anthony steps up and gets the ball back for their offense.
Friars now with an opportunity as Dante Torres. Look at those numbers, 18 for 30, 292 and 4 touchdowns. Torres looking to land a big blow here, perhaps, if St. Anthony's is able to get into the end zone. 1st and 10 from his own 39-yard line. Escobar motions out, and that's in and out of the hands as well, trying to find Matos. It was incomplete.
2nd and 10 from the 39.
And I'd look for St. Anthony's to get something going on the ground right here. Been very successful. That Escobar senior offensive line has done a really, really good job thus far tonight. And look to eat up some clock as we work our way into this 4th quarter.
Here comes the pressure, and look at this run. And you can see the guys now for Iona trying to strip the football. They'll get forward motion as a little extra physicality on the play, but the spot will be the 44-yard line on that run, which will bring up a 3rd and 5.
Big number 55, Capri Martin, in on that tackle.
Yeah, Martin, again, a junior, 6'2", 245, about as strong as you're going to find in his age group. I feel feel like we're saying this on almost every play now, but another huge play here in this game. 3rd and 5. Torres drops back, lobs it down far side. Battle for the football. It is intercepted and fumbled, so it'll be incomplete.
And that's an incredible job by Timmy Longo along the sideline. Looked like it could have been an interception, and he had to switch from a wide receiver to a defensive back mid-play. Does a great job on the breakup.
Here we see it again. And it was picked off, at least for a second there, by Kalani McIntyre, the linebacker. And as you said, I mean, look, it was being bobbled, and as you said, he had to quickly turn from I'm catching this football to I'm knocking it away, making sure that we at least now have a 4th down.
Simultaneously, a great job by McIntyre as the linebacker, running in coverage one-on-one against one of the more dynamic, explosive weapons for St. Anthony's and Longo. So really great job out of position a little bit.
There's the punt. Nearly hit an Iona Prep player. It'll roll to the 25-yard line, and that's where Ajani Shepard will lead his guys onto the field, and again, trying to slice in to their deficit. It was a deficit they faced really from the very beginning. St. Anthony scores in their first drive. Dante Torres led the way, multiple guys on offense, and it's been chipping away for Iona to this point now where you get a touchdown, you're within a score, and there's still a lot of time on the clock.
Here you are. Your defense just gave you an opportunity. Obviously upset about the previous turnover on downs, your last drive, but here you are about a minute later with the ball back, still in an opportunity to bring this game close to a one-score game.
Shepard's numbers, you saw it there, almost identical. Good look over the middle. That was to Mikey Ryan. And that'll be good for a first down. Ryan, another one of these legacy guys, right? Brother Matty. Remember, of course, on the basketball court, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt. Now he's with the Denver Nuggets. Hey, listen, he's an NBA guy. He's still going out to summer workouts and kind of leading the way as they run suicides.
Absolutely. A lot of good talent in the bloodlines at Iona Prep.
Shepard goes the other way, cutting inside again and pulled down. And it is Ryan again. Ryan might be a D2 wide receiver, but Spagnuolo said, look out for him perhaps as a long snapper. He's under 0.7 from 15 yards away. That's legit numbers for long snappers.
I can tell you I was one of the top 15 guys in the country my senior year, and I was at about a 0.75. So that is truly excellent, and he should have a lot of opportunities with those kind of numbers.
O'Garo pushes forward, and it's starting to feel right, like a little momentum going the way of the Gales of Iona Prep inside St. Anthony's territory.
And how have they done it, right? High percentage throws, getting the ball out there on the edge to your playmakers, diversifying, getting Ryan involved, and things are looking up right now for the Iona offense.
It is, until that play got blown up by a host of St. Anthony's defenders. O'Garo was hit.
And Matt Moss, who doesn't get quite as much love as his fellow middle linebacker, Andrew Bardak, in there on that play. He's a very talented player in his own right.
Borgat, again, also part of that crew to make the tackle. And, again, rinse and repeat. Another big play, 3rd and 5 from the 48-yard line. Shepard. First down and more. He's pulled down near the 35-yard line.
That felt like deja vu all over again, right? Big 3rd down situation. You know you got anti-pass rushers in front of you. Let St. Anthony's get upfield and let your big quarterback run downhill.
How about the block upfield, too, by the fullback, John Pax, the senior. He was on the line this year, again, with the injuries at guard. He's now at his more natural fullback position. Completed pass and a good tackle there. I think it was Bardak to stop Jolie from a big gain there on first down.
Mickey Brown might have been in there with him. Bit of an undersized guy, number 7 for that St. Anthony's backfield, but a great open field tackler.
2nd and 3. It's again Shepard. Cuts it inside, and he will move the chains again. Leo on the tackle.
Dylan, one thing to notice here is a little bit unusual for Iona, but they've left number 8, Zion Moultrie-Goddard, in their backfield at that running back slot throughout the entire drive. I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing the RPO game so open up, because they're very honest in playing against that big 240-pound back.
This time he does get the football, and he powers his way forward to the 15-yard line.
2nd and 7 from the 13.
Excuse me, inside the 15 to the 13. Iona will work quickly. Again, the handoff. Goddard
Got it on the carry.
powers forward, touchdown. Iona Prep, a 15-yard touchdown run by the big fella, Zion Moultrie-Goddard.
Just too big and too strong. He's a very, very powerful athlete, and putting that on display right there. And Dylan, I don't know what happened, but it seemed like we blinked, and this is a one-score ball game. So buckle up, bring your popcorn out, because we got a lot of fun here for you for the last 7:40 on Friday night.
What's happened has been Miles, as there's a flag on the kickoff. What has happened was Zion Moultrie-Goddard impacting the game. That's back-to-back touchdowns for a guy who really is most dangerous as a linebacker, right? But here you see what he can do on the offense, 6'2", 245 with the football in his hands.
I mean, he's a scary athlete to line up against. That's why he's getting love from the SEC. That's why he's got a Tennessee offer. He's got a West Virginia offer. He's talking to most of the big schools around the country, because it's just hard to replicate 6'2", 240 athletic.
He got banged up in that Hayes game in that first series, offensively at least, didn't then continue on the offense, but obviously stayed on defensively. We do have a ball game. Don't go anywhere. 7:40 left. 34-27 is the lead for St. Anthony's. This Catholic League AAA showdown is right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
34-28.
Over the middle, he's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later. Going long, wide open. Perazi. He gets it. Perazi. Foot raise. 10, 5. Bank it. Touchdown. Punch. Counter punch. The trickery. Ryder gets it back. Goes over the top for Haberman. What a catch! Just Ross Simmons strips him. That's loose. And Ross Simmons is going to take this the other direction. Bank it. Touchdown. Touchdown East.
We welcome you back to St. Anthony's, and the big crowd, the big home crowd, a little bit quieter right now. It was raucous earlier on, and that's what Zion Moultrie-Goddard will do. Consecutive touchdowns for him, and here comes Leo off the kick return. Gets it outside the 30-yard line, and a huge possession here for St. Anthony's.
You know, St. Anthony's was able to do a really good job on the offensive side of the ball. For every single time their defense might have fallen down a little bit, picking them right back up, preserving a large lead. Now is really the time where you ask them, hey, can you step up for us? Your defense has been fighting all day, putting on a really good show. You guys have been very successful all day long. Well, now it's the fourth quarter. Dante Torres, we're looking at you.
1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Escobar is the lone back. Torres turns to him and will hand off. And it's Moultrie-Goddard again in on the tackle, pushing Escobar back. He'll get out to the 38-yard line. Excuse me, the 34-yard line.
Big Capri Martin active on that play again. And not much going for the St. Anthony's offensive line and running game up the middle after so much success earlier on in this game.
And right behind that front three is Moultrie-Goddard at number 8. Torres goes long, looks for Longo, and what a pass deflection. It was knocked down by McIntyre.
And once again, McIntyre called upon as just a linebacker to play one-on-one coverage against Timmy Longo, one of the most dynamic, quick threats that St. Anthony's has, and McIntyre stepping up in a really big way.
You really need to move the chains here if you're St. Anthony, so a huge play. They're 3rd and 9 from their own 34-yard line. Torres has time, looks for Duff, far side, reaches up, and again, it is McIntyre to break it up.
And what a huge series for Kalani McIntyre, really stepping up there for when his defense needed him. And just like that, 6:46 on the clock, Iona Prep will have the ball with the opportunity to take the lead.
And one of the things that Spagnuolo said leading into this game was McIntyre will be part, he called it, of the KJ Duff plan. It was a multiple athlete plan to take on a talented sophomore like Duff, but McIntyre is part of that. You see there the pass breakup. So 3 and out for St. Anthony's. They're forced to punt. It's up in the air. It's a good one as well. You punt it away from Robinson. Doesn't take the bounce, a perfect bounce for the Friars, but it is down at the 32-yard line. What a game we have here as Iona Prep. 6:35 left. They've got the ball on their own 33-yard line and all the momentum in the world right now as well.
Absolutely. You know, just when we thought this one was going to maybe get out of hand a little bit, we remembered why Iona Prep is the #1 team in the state. They weren't going to give up this one easily.
Senator again motions to the left. Keeper by Shepard, and this time he's wrapped up well by Jojo DiCero.
DiCero does a great job flying up, shows why Coach Minucci's so confident in his high football IQ. Just a junior, but a guy who surely will factor into this St. Anthony's offense throughout the defense the rest of the year and into next.
Yeah, Pat, you look at those linebackers right in front of them. They're all seniors, Moss, Bardock, and McGuire. It's hard to get on the field in that position, but DiCero does it and impacts the game as well. Shepard rolls out to the left towards his own sideline and powers out towards that stick.
Notice that center to quarterback connection continue to be an issue a little bit for Iona. They're able to get around it on that play, but another errant snap, continual theme that has impeded their progress at certain points in this game.
Look at Shepard. Looks like a slight limp there by the junior QB. We'll keep an eye out for that going forward. I think good luck getting him off the field, right? This time to O'Garrow. Fumble.
We got it.
The ball is loose.
Fumble on the play.
No call yet. They're peeling guys off the pile, and it will stay with Iona.
And it looked like number 40, Andrew Bardock, had a chance to get his hands on that ball.
Recovered by Iona. Second and
Oh, man, it was a wrestling match, right? And what a job by O'Garrow, who lost the football initially and just wrestled Bardock away from it and continued. It's only a loss of 2, but it certainly could have been so much worse.
Fortunate for Iona Prep, you know, another missed connection between the quarterback and the running back, able to get away with it there.
Now Shepard up to the line, pointing out guys.
And this really is starting to feel like Death Valley North, the crowd becoming a factor.
Shepard bobbles it momentarily, flushed out. He's taken down and sacked.
sacked by number 40.
Bardock.
And an incredible job in pursuit. Andrew Bardock coming in on the blitz. Looks like Shepard might get away, but Bardock stays with it. Incredible job wrapping up. And that is why number 40 is the heart and soul of this Friar defense.
Yeah, listen, if you are West Point, give this kid a look. Even if you bring him on as a walk-on, he lives and dies for football. He's wanted to go to West Point all his life. It's all about service for him, and give him a chance, please.
I can tell you, Dylan, I think I can spot a college football player and I see one, and there's no reason that number 40 can't play on Saturdays. And as you see, his stats up to probably over 50 tackles. He was at 10 tackles at halftime in this game. And, you know, really one of the most active guys you're going to find on any defense in high school football. Andrew Bardak, a big reason why Iona is playing from behind, looking to regain the lead late here in the fourth quarter.
A little miscommunication there. I think the sticks, there's a holding penalty. And that'll be declined. So the sticks will now switch it to third down. A little sideline warning as well.
And on this 3rd and 20, really want to circle number 7 on your screen, northern side of your screen, as timeout is taken by Iona Prep.
I want to take a chance while we have this on this timeout. You see the Iona Prep's sideline. I want to shout out Jose Ruiz, number 31, a linebacker for them. He's out for this season. He's a senior, and Joe Spagnuolo really talked about him. Ruiz, how about this? He had 11 tackles all in the first half against Bosco. Late in that first half, non-contact ACL. It's the second ACL injury that Ruiz has had, and Spagnuolo said, I really kind of thought he was an FCS-level player, a two-way starter on the freshman team. Sophomore year, tore his ACL, missed the entire JV season. What Ruiz did, though, is there he is. You see him there with the crutches. Just had surgery. He's got the headset on as well. He's an extra coach now, coaching up the linebackers, so it's great to see Ruiz on the sideline, and we wish him the best of luck going forward.
Absolutely.
3rd and 17. The Friar faithful gets loud. Robinson rolls out to the left. A pitch. It's loose. And that'll be 4th down. It was an incomplete pass, but holy smoke.
As Iona looks to just be setting up a little shovel pass underneath to Zion Moultrie-Goddard. Goddard not even looking for it. And very fortunate that Iona winds up on top of that ball with a chance to punt the ball back.
I think
and
Moss,
not give up bad field position.
Sorry, Pat. I think Moss got a piece, or it might have been McCabe. One of those two batted the football. So now Iona back to punt. They've got a very good punter as well, and it takes a bounce, a college-level punter at that in Sean O'Neill, and gets a really good bounce as well. So back and forth we go. It's now back to St. Anthony's offensively as they got the stop they wanted. It's 4:02 left in the fourth quarter, and a great chance here, one, to run the clock, right, and maybe push the ball forward, get a few first downs, or obviously if the opportunity presents itself, get in the end zone and get a much-needed win.
Absolutely. As an offensive lineman, these are really the points in the game that you look forward to because you've been going to war all day long. Now it's the time to assert your will to bring your team a victory. If this veteran offensive line for St. Anthony's is able to assert their dominance here, move the sticks, they're able to walk out of here on Friday night with a victory over the number 1 team in the state. That's a great opportunity. I know they're chomping at the bit for it.
So the Friars will start this series with 4:02 left in the fourth quarter from their own 23-yard line. A conversation among the officials as the Let's Go Friars chant comes up from their crowd. Another great crowd here on a Friday night in South Huntington. It is an atmosphere unlike any other on Long Island, and there you see some of them there, some decked out in white, others in their football jerseys, and it's a great atmosphere on Friday night, and they want to will their team to a win. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Torres, empty backfield, and he'll look to run a little bit and just throws it in the direction of an offensive lineman, and there's the flag. So this will be intentional grounding and the loss of down that goes with it.
And you almost saw Dante Torres' thought process rolling out a little bit, get some pressure in his face, sees some friendly black jerseys in front of him, and just dumps it on the ground. Unfortunately, all offensive linemen, and that's going 15 yards back.
So that'll back them up, as well as you lose the down. So a double whammy.
And the clock stops at this junction in the game. You're really looking to eat at some clock. Look for St. Anthony's to potentially put the ball back on the ground here and get moving in the right direction.
Looks like it's Escobar, I believe, to the left tip, but they'll go back in the air. Torres over the middle, incomplete, and there is a flag. A pass interference penalty will be called. It will be against Kieran Connolly, number 6. It was Duff, the intended target.
And that, in my eyes, is a play that could have gone either way. Appears to be a bang-bang as Connolly gets there right as the ball gets to Duff. Goes against Iona Prep here and could be a big get-out-of-jail-free card for St. Anthony's, already playing behind the sticks. That's certainly a huge, huge penalty if it goes their way.
And it does, so it's a 15-yard penalty. So those 15 yards that you just lost, you gain it back.
As well as an automatic first down.
No, that's a college, not in high school, so it's still second down. They'll repeat second down, 2nd and 6. There's the handoff, and there's the first down for the Friars. Back to Ruda. We saw him impact the game in the first half. He's back now in the fourth quarter. As again, there's that sharing of the load from the running backs.
And Ruda does a great job here of just getting north-south, having some patience to let the play out, and moves the sticks.
So the clock, after the chains moved, continues to wind down. 3:30 left, fourth quarter. Friars obviously in no hurry. Timeout-wise, Iona Prep has 3. St. Anthony's has 2. There's the handoff up the middle. And looks to be Ruda. Again, McIntyre with the tackle.
I've been really impressed by Kalani McIntyre throughout this game, what he's been able to do in the efforts to try and neutralize KJ Duff. Some fantastic one-on-one coverage against Timmy Longo, and then also playing more than his part in the run game there.
And correction, both teams have 2 timeouts. You see it at the bottom of your screen. 2nd and 9. Torres hands off. The run comes towards the sideline. Cutting it inside, lowering the shoulder. And a big run by Ruda gets it about a yard from the first down marker. Or did he get it? Did he get it on the mark? He does.
And that's a great job by your left tackle, number 77, Carson Chanchuli, is able to seal off the edge for Ruda there, allow him to get that big first down conversion.
Watch the second effort here by Ruda, too, lowering the shoulder, barreling forward. And he gets the first down. And a huge one of that. You saw him going at Kieran Connolly there, number 6. 1st and 10 from the 46. Flag on the play. So this will go against the offense.
Clock runs, right? Clock runs on a penalty inside of 2 minutes? Wish it would, right? But it doesn't. Pretty sure. No?
A reminder that the clock will not continue to run on that penalty as time becomes more and more important for the Iona fans at home.
Full start on the Friars. And you see the time, 1:58. The ball back on the 41-yard line now.
1st and 15.
1st and 15. Dante Torres. Hands off. And now Iona gets the stop. Will they take a timeout here as well?
And once again, Kalani McIntyre, the big stop on Ruda.
Jason Vavrika, also number 9, in on the tackle. A converted QB, a backup QB obviously as well on this team. Vavrika, number 9, 29 tackles on the year. So timeout, Iona. They'll have one left with 1:49. You see at the bottom of your screen left in this fourth quarter.
That's Iona's first charge timeout.
When we spoke with their head coach, Joe Spagnuolo, at St. Anthony's, I see the same team that I saw in the spring. He said, unlike us, unlike Cardinal Hayes and Stepanek, who all said goodbye to some seniors in the spring, he said they returned pretty much everybody that we've seen, and it's a big reason why they're taking that step up St. Anthony's has this fall. He said that great continuality, he called it, from the spring to today. That's been a big springboard for the Friars' success this year.
Absolutely. I think that continuity has been huge, especially when you take into account the pandemic-impacted year. So many of these programs are really young guys trying to learn their way for the first time, get these in-game reps. All these guys were out there in the spring learning, going through the bumps in the road so they could come out here a much stronger football team this fall.
2nd and 17. Torres goes himself, cuts it upfield, trying to stay in bounds. Big number 72. You mentioned him before, Pat. Jalen Hicks, the sophomore, who they think at Iona might be the next big defensive lineman. 6'2", 275 for the sophomore Hicks.
Of note right here, somewhat of a mistake right there by Dante Torres. Unable to stay in bounds, so that clock stops for St. Anthony's, preserving time for that Iona Prep offense to hopefully, on their end, get the ball back.
And it's a timeout that Iona Prep doesn't have to take there as well, so they still have that one in their pocket. Jenkins in, and he'll be that lone receiver at the top of your screen. 3rd and 18. Solero motions. Torres rolls right, fires over the middle, intercepted! He's picked off by Terrence Walden. His first INT of the year.
And Terrence Walden been active all day as a tackler. Steps up in a big way here. Just a minute 37 left on the clock. And Torres is going to wish he was able to get that ball back, putting Iona Prep's offense in scoring position at the St. Anthony's 47 to kick off this drive.
So again, you see at the bottom of your screen, Iona's got one timeout left. St. Anthony's has 2. The Friars have led throughout this game. They've got a 34-28 lead with a minute 37 to go. Ryan is at the bottom of your screen. Shepard out of shotgun. He'll go towards Ryan. Look at this play. Finding Robinson up the sideline. And he dances his way out of bounds.
And does that not remind you of Boise State, Oklahoma from 2007? If we can get back to that, we'll see the hook and ladder play, which you guys might remember from the fourth quarter, Boise State versus Oklahoma, 2007 Fiesta Bowl. And Ellis Robinson, dangerous when he gets the ball in his hands, putting them in the red zone.
Hey, we saw the Beelan brothers do that for Hayes, right, against Chaminade earlier this year. Shepard rolls out. High steps his way out of bounds. So that, again, stops the clock.
Run out of bounds by Dichara.
And you can feel the collective blood pressure raise of everybody in this building, Gale or Fryer.
And it's nail-biting time. And there again, you see a little bit of a limp and maybe a little bit worse now for Shepard.
Johnny Shepard just been an absolute warrior all day long, asked to put his shoulder down repeatedly, and he might be hurting, but you can bet he's not coming out of this game.
2nd and 5 from the 17-yard line. Shepard goes over the middle. That's complete. And you can see the rugby scrum that ensues. It was Ryan again making the grab.
Mike Ryan, after a relatively quiet first 3 quarters of this game, really asserting himself in the fourth quarter.
First and goal from the 9, and Shepard will just spike the football with 1:07 left in the fourth quarter. And you can see Shepard just he's hobbling, he's a gamer. Listen, on that Iona Prep bus on the way back, he gets his own row, right? Let him lay down there on the bus coming home. Here we go again, 2nd and goal from the 9. And nothing doing. Again, the front for St. Anthony's, a huge tackle. It will also force Iona to call their last timeout.
And great job by Mickey Brown right there, stepping up. You'll see he was fired up when he got out of that pile. Iona looking to fool him with a little draw to Moultrie Goddard when everybody and their mother was expecting a pass, but Andrew Bardak and that St. Anthony's defense said, "Oh no, no."
So Iona just took their final timeout. You see 61 seconds left in this game. And what a game it's been. So happy to bring this to you on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now, it's interesting looking back at that use of a spike right there by Coach Spagnuolo, because he was able to preserve the timeout, use it after that run play there. But now they're working with 3rd down, only 2 more downs to try and punch it in on the road.
Shepard's got O'Garo behind him. And a bit of, I was going to say almost an eye look, right? But now he goes to his left. Shepard runs to the left, cuts it inside. Shepard cuts it inside again, dives towards the end zone, and he scores. Johnny Shepard, a beast, has tied this score at 34.
And really the story of the second half of this Iona Prep offense has been the running capabilities of a Johnny Shepard. Once again, using it, stepping up, putting his shoulder down at the goal line to get in. Been a primary difference maker for this team as the QB run game has really opened up.
What a massive extra point now. Snap is up, the kick is up, and it is good. So the Friars seemingly in control for so much of this game. It's now Iona Prep with a 1-point lead with 54 seconds left.
Iona takes the lead for the first time all day. But that's the main reason we've been saying St. Anthony's needs to keep the pedal to the metal. Very reminiscent of their last loss versus Archers of Stepanak, where they controlled that game. Here they're going to look to redeem themselves in the last 54 seconds, but certainly stings right now.
Shepard, look at those numbers. 193 yards in the air, 173 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. He has done everything to just will Iona to this lead.
Incredibly impressive performance by Shepard. And here, if you're St. Anthony's, you look at your quarterback, your junior Dante Torres, who has done so much for you today, and you ask, can you get us just one more?
We've seen the big playability throughout the St. Anthony's offense. Can they continue that? As Sean O'Neill off of that PAT, and end over end, it's Leo picking the ball up at the 11. Leo, he is hammered there by Kalani McIntyre. So here we go. Friars, 2 timeouts remaining. You can see at the bottom of your screen, 51 seconds remaining. They've got the ball at their own 27-yard line.
Right here, St. Anthony's needs to rely on their competitive depth. They've got a lot of guys out on the edge who can make plays. See what the defense is giving you. Take those easy yards all the way down the field.
Torres under pressure. That ball's batted down, and there's a flag on the flag back on the 30 6-yard line.
Could be a pass interference.
Big call here. You see the clapping going on by the big guys up front for St. Anthony's. Big call here by the officials. And it will be against Iona. Defensive holding. They'll move the ball up 10 yards.
1st and 10 from the 37.
And St. Anthony's from their own 37-yard line. Torres looks for Duff. He finds him. He was right at the stick. They're going to say, though, that he didn't make it, and St. Anthony's forced to burn their final timeout with 35.5 seconds remaining. So Duff made the grab, but he was short of the first down marker. The ball at the 45-yard line. And now the Friars still have one timeout remaining. And remember, too, Goldstein, he's got a good leg as well. They haven't really used him in field goal opportunities. They haven't had to this year, but until today has been perfect on PAT attempts.
And if you're St. Anthony, certainly looking to at least get within the 20-yard line to have a realistic kick for Goldstein.
Dumped down. Running out of bounds right at midfield was Escobar.
And that's great awareness by the senior right there, knowing where the sticks are, knowing to get out of bounds, this critical juncture with clock being such a factor. Really, really good job by Josh Escobar.
So Friars still have that one timeout left. They're at their own 48-yard line. They moved the chains.
1st and 10.
30 seconds remaining.
47-yard line.
Torres. Moultrie Goddard comes at him, finds Duff in and out of his hands. It looked like that was McIntyre again on coverage.
Torres' pass is incomplete, intended for Duff.
And that's one we've grown accustomed to seeing KJ Duff reel in. Certainly going to want to get that one back.
McIntyre, again, was part of the KJ Duff plan, and he's been fantastic defensively for Iona Prep. Watch him again. 2nd and 10 from the 47-yard line. 25 seconds remaining. Torres goes back to Duff. This one he reels in at about the 41-yard line. That'll move the chains, and he gets out of bounds as well.
Duff, fantastic job redeeming himself right there. Similar play to the edge, and able to get out of bounds. As it appears there's an Iona Prep player down on the field.
I thought they had said, yeah, they did move the chains on the far sideline, as there is the injury right now for Iona Prep. This gives us a chance to tell you about some upcoming games we have for you tomorrow on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You love this game. We've got some good ones as well coming up tomorrow. 3 games for you. We stay, well, not too far from here, right? Over at Hills East in Dix Hills. We've got the Thunderbirds in Northport in that just bruising Suffolk Division 2. Pick a winner. Good luck in that one. And not only in that matchup, but in the entire division, right? With Lindy and Bellport. And
absolutely. Northport played a classic last week against Lindy. Going to look to bounce back from that.
West Islip as well. They're getting healthy. Wantagh Plain Edge, that rivalry renewed. 2 undefeated teams there. And MacArthur Garden City feels like they only play big games as well between the two of them in Nassau Conference 2. You want to subscribe to Varsity Media on YouTube. That's what all these signals mean, right? Like, it's the Varsity Media logo on YouTube. Subscribe. Click right there. You don't want to miss it. We've got so many big football games coming up. This is an injury that is very unfortunate right now for Iona Prep. You hope it's a cramp, but the way that he's feeling back on his leg, I hate to say the word hamstring, but that's what Justin Jolie is leaving the game with. Apparently, they can't start this football game yet. Jolie's still limping off. There you see it, and you see him feeling his hamstring. That's never a good sign for a player, or for any player, but certainly of his caliber.
Such a special talent, and it's really been a joy getting to see him play for the first time out here tonight. Has really had a great night to date, and hope that that's not anything that's going to follow him.
21 seconds left. St. Anthony's at the 42-yard line of Iona Prep. They've got one timeout left. Fresh set of downs. Torres back to pass. He will go deep. Looking. And it's incomplete. Nearly bounced as well. In and out of the hands of Jenkins. Wow.
And I'm still waiting to take a deep breath. It's been a while for me. As I'm sure you fans at home feel, the tension could be cut with a knife. It's so palpable within this building right now.
And you see, it was an underthrown ball, and Jenkins came back for it, but just couldn't pull it in. 2nd and 10 from the 42-yard line. And again, St. Anthony's does have one timeout remaining. Torres, look out, under pressure, just dumps it as the pressure comes.
Torres' pass is incomplete. Brings up 3rd down.
And a bit of a slow snap getting back to him. Might have thrown off his timing a little bit. Didn't look like he was able to get the 5-step drop that he was truly looking for. Just has to get that ball out of his hands. But now, with 9 seconds left, is a critical play if St. Anthony's is hoping to leave victors tonight.
Darrell Reeves with the pressure for Iona Prep. Again, the clock will stop if you move the chains. 3rd and 10. Torres drops back, rolls out of the pocket, goes down low, and that's nearly picked off. He actually threw it behind Miles.
And looks to be Ellis Robinson going for number 8 on the year. And
he's lobbying for it.
If we had instant replay, I think he might have gotten it. But
I think he stepped out. He's still lobbying with the official.
It just shows the type of competitor that kid is. Something special.
So here we go. 2.1 seconds remaining. 4th and 10. This is the ball game. Iona with several defenders deep, right? They're giving up the middle of the field. They're not looking to get beat deep. Torres rolls out. He will fire long towards the end zone. Duff is looking for the football. Duff makes the catch. Can he get in? He pushes forward, and he is downed at the 2. Ball game.
And do you remember Steve McNair, 1999 Super Bowl, 1 yard short? We are reminiscing on that tonight here at St. Anthony's.
The white hat is calling the Iona Prep players off the field. But it appears as a final. Here is it again.
And just tantalizingly close for KJ Duff there. The only thing that provides any solace for Friars fans tonight is you know that you were 1 yard away from beating the #1 team in New York State.
And also, you were 1 yard away from just complete chaos atop the standings in the AAA, right? You would have had 3 teams with 1 loss between Iona, St. Anthony's, and Stappaneck. Instead, it would appear that the Gales, with a tremendous come-from-behind win here in South Huntington, have all but locked up that top seed. They will play Chaminade in the final week of the regular season, but it would appear that the Gales of Iona Prep have all but clinched the top seed. The Catholic AAA playoffs are going to be amazing, and we're so happy that we're going to be able to show it to you, the championship games at least, from Mitchell Athletic Complex. Varsity Media, the official broadcast partner of the 2021 Catholic Football League Championships. Should be some great games. Listen, if it's half the game that this one is, you'll want to tune into all 3 of those: the AA, the single, the AA2, the AA1, and the AAA as well.
Absolutely. And I know if you're a St. Anthony's fan tonight, you're going to be going to sleep a little bit upset, thinking that we might have let one get away. But the only thing that's going to make you feel better is knowing that all November long you have high-flying varsity media action live every Friday and Saturday, and we can't be more excited than to bring this great lineup to you throughout the rest of this fall season.
There you see how the two teams wrap up their regular season. Iona Prep will come back to Long Island. They'll play Chaminade, dangerous team, next Saturday at 1:30. St. Anthony's will close up against St. Francis Prep. You would certainly believe that to be a win, but a second home loss here for St. Anthony's. And listen, Joe Spagnuolo said, I've only won once here. Now he gets win number 2, and what a massive one it is for the Gales. They looked to be all but dead, but the battle that those guys showed was massive, and certainly that bus ride back to New Rochelle will be a happy one.
Absolutely. You know, we knew going into the game that Iona brought tremendous talent to the table, but I don't think we knew the character of this team just yet. They hadn't been truly tested since their visit to Don Bosco. Here they come out of South Huntington with a major victory, a come-from-behind victory, and Coach Spagnuolo couldn't be happier heading back to New Rochelle.
Well, it's been a fun one. We're so happy you're able to join us for this one. And, again, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of big games coming up for you. We got those triple header tomorrow as well in the public schools on Long Island. It'll be hard to beat this one, but we'll try. Northport, Hills East, Wantagh, Plain Edge, MacArthur, Garden City, all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. So that'll do it here from South Huntington. And again, your final score, Iona Prep rallies for a 35-34 win for Angelo Caezo, Ron Pierre, Chris Sweeney as well, Ben Turchin, and, of course, my brother from another mother, Brian Butler. Pat Godfrey, my broadcast partner, thank you so much. Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We will see you at the next game, hopefully tomorrow. Good night, everyone.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.